you promised to, and I'm so grateful for your love. And all my eyes have seen the wonders of your mystery received. I've tasted what it means. Now nothing else is good enough for me. You're all I need. You're all I need. You're all I need. You're all I need. Oh, I need you. Yeah, I need you. Oh, I need you now. Now I owe it all to you, giving my heart to you, freedom becoming true. Nobody else like you, do what you promised to, and I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for your love. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I need you in my life. What's up, everybody? We are live like we do it every Tuesday night. We're here in the Lion's Den, ready to go. I got the brothers with me in the building. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button and sharing this video with your friends so the algorithm can get going and get rocking with us. But yeah, we're going to talk about some stuff going on. You know, apparently Trump died over the weekend, so we're going to get into a little bit of that. But you know what it is. You're here. You're watching Young Lion TV. Let's go.
Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, won't you get up and start fighting? Everywhere I look, they're hiding. Young lion.
That's right. It's Young Lion TV. And we do this live every Tuesday night when we get together and talk about stuff that's been going on during the week, things that we've seen, things that we've experienced, and also stuff going on in the news, whether it's politics, culture, dating stuff, even just, yeah, we talk about dating sometimes. Yeah, we do. Dating culture, right? Yeah, what are you talking about, Mom? Well, that's when you were dating. But yeah, we talk about that stuff because what did we lose the stream? Why does it say the video has ended?
Was live.
Yeah. Why is it blinking red? Are we still live on YouTube? Somebody check YouTube.
then time caught up with my plans. And when the day broke, it exposed me for the fool that I really am. But you said, let me lead you, let me take you by the hand, yeah. So I can feed you from a good and precious land. All my eyes have seen, you're all I need. You're all I need, yeah. So now I'm learning to walk in your steps. And through the valley of confusion, I've been losing my apprehension with death. But you said, let me lead you, let me take you by the hand. So I can feed you from a good and precious land. Now I owe it all to you, giving my heart to you, freedom becoming true. Nobody else like you, do what you promised to. And I'm so grateful for your love. The wonders of your mystery received. I've tasted what it means. Now nothing else is good enough for me. You're all I need. You're all I need. You're all I need. You're all I need. Oh, I need you. Yeah, I need you. Oh, I need you now. Now I owe it all to you, giving my heart to you, freedom becoming true. Nobody else like you, do what you promised to, and I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for your love. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I need you in my life.
All right. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty, but I think we are back now. The name of the song, I shout out to Simone Garcia on YouTube. Yeah, right? Y'all too. First name, last name. Asked what's the name of that song. The name of that song is called Grateful. It is by our band, Jatan. You can get to the link in the description to get to that song, and also get the merch, get the Grateful shirt. We got hats and everything. But yeah, that song is definitely a vibe. But it's the way we intro the show every week. We had to restart because for some reason our stream on Facebook went down. We're multi-streaming, Rumble, X, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. And for some reason, Facebook went down. I don't know why, but we're back now. So hopefully everything is stable over there. If you're over there now, make sure you guys are hitting the like button and sharing this video, because we don't know what just happened, but we got it up and running again. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to all our Patreon members. If you are a supporter of the Young Lions and you're a part of the community, we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Make sure you guys drop a comment in. Let us know you're here. We always love to hear from our Patreon community. And if you want to become a member, if you want to support the type of conversations that we have over here where we're talking about real issues, real topics. We've been doing this for years now, back when it wasn't so popular to do. We've seen the shadow banning happen in real time. So you can head on over to the Patreon and become a member over there. Again, the link is in the description. But before we get into the topics, I got to give a shout out to who's in the room with me right now. You see him sitting next to me. He's sitting here with the kneecaps out, baby. The kneecaps is out. He's our brother. He's the coolest Asian in the podcast land. And he owes me a haircut, too. We were just talking about how I'm looking kind of rough.
I said he was looking kind of rough.
Yeah, he owes me a haircut.
Yeah, my hair's getting pretty long.
We got to touch that wire on the... Yeah, that wire's been acting funny lately.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're in there. You're in there.
Yeah, I am.
But he is Mr. Simone Chang in the building.
What's up? What's up?
Yeah.
My knees are only out because the panning of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also, I mean, it's getting a little too cold for shorts, don't you think? The weather's already changed.
I'm rocking it out.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And then we got it on the other camera. He's back.
Look at them legs.
He's been gone for a while. But he is the most confusing man in the podcast land. He is the half black, half Indian with the Spanish last name. Mr. James Garcia is back by popular man. Ready to talk some shizzle. And we're waiting on Jake to show up. He just commented in the chat, be there soon. I had to get started, man, because, you know, we can't be waiting all night for you to show up. So, yeah. And he got a whole thing he want to go into. And by the time he get here, it's going to be, yeah, you're going to
lose me and Simone at 10:30.
Right. Y'all going to be nodding off. And, of course, producing this evening, she left her phone in the other room so she wouldn't miss her camera switches tonight.
She already missed it once, but
Did she?
she was a little late to panning to you. You were talking for like, you know.
Oh, I was?
It's okay.
But yeah, she's our mother. We love her. She is the producer of the podcast, Miss Angelique Lopez, in the building here. Thank you for being here, Mom, every Tuesday night. We appreciate you. Even when we're not feeling so well, you still come through and do your job here. We appreciate it. And, you know, she is a Patreon supporter as well. Well, not on Patreon. My mom doesn't do the Patreon.
She send you money.
She don't like the Patreon fees.
She put money in the envelope and she gives it to you.
I sent them Cash App. Cash App.
She sends it on the Cash App, which is also available if you guys want to donate to the cause over there and help us keep the equipment. Like you can see, we need a new mic cable over there. You can support by hitting the Cash App. That link is also in the description and in our link tree and all that stuff. But it's $ Young Lion TV. But yeah, man, how's everybody doing? How was everybody's Labor Day weekend? You were away. You went to see the family.
I went to see my new niece and Jackson, my
Did you
nephew.
introduce your own self, Jamie?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah.
This is the guy that looks like everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Look like everybody that's light skinned with a beard that you might have in your family or you might see on TV and you think, oh, he looks like this guy. Yeah, that's me. And I am trying to make sure everything runs smoothly over here and do the clips and everything. But my name is Jamie Evans on the ones and twos.
James A.E.
James A.E., like my dad used to call me. James A.E. The guy at the gym was like, man, your parents named you James Evans? Because of good times.
Like, yeah. Good times.
And I was like,
No.
I was like, they didn't name me after that James Evans. That was my uncle's name. And that's who I was named after. He was like, oh, okay. Oh, I'm sure you get that a lot. I was like,
No.
not really anymore. That's old. You know what I mean? I used to get that back in the day.
No, yeah.
But yeah. What I used to get a lot too was teachers especially, assuming that my nickname was Jim. I'm sure you get that a lot too, right? Like they just call you Jim.
No. That's
And
Do they call you Jim?
When I first got here, they was call me Jim. Every now and
That's
then.
what Don calls you, right? Yeah.
Chiniquer hates that. You're not no Jim.
Yeah.
You
Jim
don't
is
even look
it's a
like
white
a
Jim
Jim.
is a white guy thing. Like black
That doesn't
dudes,
bother me.
Black dudes aren't Jims.
I mean, here's a Jim Jones now.
Yeah, Jim Jones. Yeah, true.
He's a YN.
True. He's an old end.
Trying to be a
He's
YN.
trying to be a YN.
Yeah, Jim is. I don't know. It doesn't bother me, but some people like it, some people don't.
How do I don't understand how some of these like white well, we can't make fun because every culture has weird nicknames, right? Like, what's your Trini nickname?
Tilly.
Right.
But my mom gave me that nickname.
But where does it come from?
I don't know. She just started calling me that.
Yeah.
That actually stuck. That actually, like, that's how all my sisters refer.
Everybody
calls me that.
Yeah.
It's only when they're in public and we're around strangers, then they'll try to say James, and it
yeah.
feels strange.
Yeah.
But it.
But there's no meaning to the word Tilly.
My mom was a nickname. I have that from her. My mom was you didn't see that side of her, but she's very silly and she likes nicknames. So she has a nickname for everybody.
That's where you get it from.
James.
That's where I get it from.
Yeah.
Snowy.
That's a cute nickname.
Listen, my son is Alonzo.
Garbanzos.
I started calling him Alonzo Garbanzo Beans.
Lucy is Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, this is Reese's Pieces.
Yeah. Howie Wowington.
Yeah, that's a funny one. Do you have one for him? Because I never heard him. Never heard you call him anything.
Nah. I've always called him James.
Yeah.
I never do the Tilly thing.
Yeah.
Me
That's
too.
more like my immediate family.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has that,
Yeah.
But James is,
Yeah.
what people find confusing, because I don't have a middle name. So they're like, you don't have a middle name? I'm like,
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Because that's like
Me too.
not everybody has middle names.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have a middle name? Yeah.
But because I was gonna say like a lot of like the white nicknames don't make sense to me. Like Jim is for James.
Yeah.
The one that don't make sense is Richard.
Yeah.
Richard, yeah. Dick.
Yeah.
where you get
Yeah,
that?
that's true.
I mean, Bob for Robert doesn't make sense either.
Yeah. Yeah, it really doesn't.
Like a lot of those nicknames I never understood. But yeah, Jim, my dad he specifically, that's how my nickname became Jamie.
Right.
Because he specifically was like, I don't want nobody calling you Jim.
He hated Jim. He's like,
He hated
let's
it.
go all the way to this unisex thing.
Yeah.
There he goes.
Yeah. He's here.
And Jamie's middle name is Antonio.
Antonio.
My father's name.
Right?
Just in case you wanted to be more confused by looking at me. Antonio.
Isn't William Bill?
Yes. Yeah, another one that's kind of
That
like
does-
Yeah.
doesn't make
But
sense.
I've also heard Will too. That's
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
Yeah, and Rob for Robert, but you also hear Bob. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's in the building. He made it from, what did you have, a big soccer practice? Scrimmages? You get into a fight? What happened?
A lot of different things happen.
I know there's a lot of drama going on with the team, so.
It was. I can't get into it, but
It's Game of Thrones.
I had like new parents come,
Mm.
and they're Mexican. They didn't really speak English.
Oh, that says it all. No, I'm
No, I'm saying they didn't speak
Are they
English,
legal?
so I had to like explain stuff to them. and
yeah.
So took a little longer than it should have.
They came to you thinking you know
had,
Spanish.
You had Leslie on the phone?
No, I had Leslie. Leslie came.
Oh, she was there? Oh, okay.
I was like, you're gonna have to, because I already
Yeah.
knew, but
Yeah.
it just ended up like a little bit more. But I'm like, yeah, you're gonna have to come. They were just asking a lot of questions. So
Okay, well, you're here, and we appreciate you being here, even though it's 8:30. But Mom, I was gonna say Puerto Ricans have a lot of weird nicknames too.
Nicknames.
I got a weird nickname. Well, that I used to.
When you were little, yeah.
What was it?
What was it?
You don't remember, Mom?
Jakey?
No.
Jaquito.
Oh,
What the?
Jaquito.
Jaquito.
That's
I
right.
hated that.
For-
That means little Jake, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
But
like
they always do that though, right?
Yeah.
probably till I was like 10. That's what I called him. Like I didn't call him. Yeah, I did not call you Jake ever. I always called you Jaquito.
Nah.
Yes,
Oh,
dude.
really?
I never ever called you
Not
Jake.
until you were 10.
Bro, I'm telling you,
Dude,
like
I never let none of my friends call me Jaquito.
I called you that.
He's like,
He's
called
not
you
your
that.
friend.
I'm your brother.
I called you that. You didn't let them call you that, but I stopped calling you that like when we got into like 3rd, 4th grade. I remember
Okay.
because you were very
Well, 3rd, 4th grade is like 9.
third grade's 9. That's when my appendix situation happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was probably like, I'm too cool. Don't call me that.
Yeah, that's what happened. Like you got mad at me, like stop calling me.
Yeah,
that.
because that was the year I cut my own hair. I tried to cut my own hair to look like the dude on Mickey Mouse Club.
Yeah.
And then I cut off my hair.
Yeah.
Remember, Mom? Cut a patch in my hair.
Of course, I remember that.
And he tried to hide it.
And I colored it in for him.
Yeah. Remember when the neighbor? So we used to have this this old white lady who lived next door to us, and she was very, very like old school American white, and we were like,
What's that mean, James?
like she didn't have any exposure to Black or Hispanic culture at all. So when she would hear my mom and my dad and me calling his name, she could not understand what we were saying. So she started calling him Chiquita,
Chiquita.
like the banana.
Like the banana. And that was the thing. Like the banana? Like,
Yeah.
She wanted to join in.
Chiquita,
Yeah.
Chiquita.
Like she was so bad, and you know this. She was so bad, like we would be outside drinking Malta.
Oh yeah, that's
And,
I
it
forgot
has like
about
the
that.
brown bottle. So she thought we were
She
drinking
thought we were
beer.
drinking beer. Like she was about to call the police. She thought like these wild Hispanics and Blacks are over here just letting the children drink beer right in the front.
She's like, look, just because your name is Chico, don't mean you have to drink like one.
She did call him Chico too. She couldn't she would get them mixed up. So it was Chiquita and Chico. She couldn't understand. Like that,
And she didn't look at you when she talked.
yeah.
So
That's because she was cross-eyed, though, right?
No, she wasn't cross-eyed.
Was it cross-eyed?
no.
She's just one of them people. You ever talk to those people that like look away when they talk to you? They're like, like they don't look at you. They're looking over here.
But
I want
she
to live in
did
this
it.
neighborhood.
Yeah,
she did it on another level.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It
She'd
was
call your name and
Right.
not look at you.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good thing.
She
Miss
was like-
Carol.
Chico.
Miss Carol.
Over there.
yeah. But I was gonna say, like, yeah, you had it, but that nickname was because Dad was trying to differentiate you from him when people would, call y'all. He said he got tired of being confused. They were like, "Come here, Jake," and so he said, "No, he's Jakeito," right? But I'm talking about the Puerto Rican nicknames, like in our family, like Cuca, Poopy, Papo, Munchi,
But
like
guess what they used to call me when I was little?
You know,
What?
Mom, Rinchy.
Rinchy.
yeah, Rinchy.
Because I was always mad.
Yeah,
I hated everybody.
but what does Rinchy mean? Mad?
Like a wrench, Rinchy. Like,
No, I don't know what
Yeah.
that means.
Well,
It's
I'm
a
just
made up
saying,
word.
that's
It's
a
like,
word. Right, but to them, that was like,
I thought it meant something in Spanish.
it probably does. I don't know.
Rinchy.
Rinchy. Rinchy.
but again, like none of those names mean anything.
No,
Like,
no, it's
and
just in there.
yeah, it's just
But that makes sense, though. Like, I know with different cultures, your nickname is what you look like or how you are.
How
yeah.
you behave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's just a part of everybody's culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not good though.
I don't think but again, like white culture, American culture doesn't really have that, but they have the weird nicknames. That's how we got on this topic because we were talking about like how Jim became a nickname for James.
I was listening.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And so it's, but then that's why I was like, but everybody has dumb nicknames.
Yeah.
Trinidad is funny though because like a lot of y'all nicknames be like something obvious about somebody. Be like, "Hey, Bigfoot," or the boy that used to like Liz when she was younger. His name was Moley Eye because he
Guess why?
he had a mole near his eye. Yeah,
Yeah.
Moley Eye. Yeah, big head, fatty,
Yeah.
blackie.
But sometimes that's like it kind of sucks because
Yeah.
like so that's how you're gonna define me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
That's wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
That's
my
the same thing with Kamaya, too. I'm sorry to cut you
Okay.
off. But one nickname, a mop. Mop means fat.
Okay.
If you're a little fat,
Right.
hey, mop.
They call you Mop.
Or mop.
I
They
think
were-
those
they were
cultures
added
just-
together, fat.
Yeah.
But it's like it toughens you up though.
Yeah.
Like you just accept it. You don't
It's
get
just
offended.
blunt.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then my nephew's name is Poopy. He's 40 years old. Poopy. It's like
PP.
And then blacks will do like stink,
Yeah.
Tiny.
Pookie, man,
Pookie, man,
Ray, Ray.
yeah, yep,
Yeah.
yeah. Don't they do poop too sometimes. Poopy.
Why people do it too? There's booger and there's like
Oh, Lord.
other like
That.
there's other.
Yeah, like why you call him Stank?
Oh, God.
Because when he was little, he used to stink. He used to poop a lot.
Yeah.
I think everybody does it to a certain point.
Yeah.
We just take it too far. Like we that's your like I mean that's your nickname, but people know how to filter. We just introduce everybody like that.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it can be very fleshly though. That's where you're like you're defining people by that, and then it becomes like that's who they are.
Yeah.
And you're also way too comfortable with them in that way. You feel like entitled because you know them to call them those names. So there's like that gray area where it gets a little weird.
I feel what you're saying because like for me, like my immediate family calls me Tilly. But like my cousins started calling me Tilly, but they introduced me as like my sisters don't introduce me as Tilly. That's just my name in the house.
Yeah.
But when they introduce
Yeah,
me,
your
that's my,
cousins like,
they're
oh,
like
this is
going
my
around,
cousin Tilly.
Yeah, everybody's
Everybody's
coming
like,
like,
what
I'm
kind
like,
of goofy?
here I am like,
Do they ever introduce anybody?
who?
Your sisters.
You know, well, they're kind of quiet, but if they introduce me, they'll be like, "This is my brother James." Like, they're not gonna, like it's just like you know, like there's certain things like within, like it's just within the family use.
Yeah.
But for some people, like once they hear a name, they like think, "What up? Yeah, go ahead, introduce me." Like, yeah.
But the funny thing is, Jake, you named your son after you, but you named him Jakey as a nickname. I never even thought about naming that to you, Jakey. Jakey. I always thought
We
Jakeito.
just started calling him that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm saying I never
I call
thought
Luke
of that.
Lukey too. Like
Oh, yeah, Lukey.
I don't know.
That's
Yeah,
the
I
thing.
didn't
That's the
want
thing that people do.
I didn't
all
want
the
a
Yeah.
junior for some reason. Like people asked me that, they were like, "Oh, you're gonna have he's gonna be James." I'm like, "No." And they're like, "What?"
Yeah.
I'm like,
But that's a British European culture.
yeah,
Like
the third, the
yeah,
fourth.
yeah, like that.
It's a tradition.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah. Well, you
Your dad-
were already a third, so you might as well keep it going at that
Right.
Oh, but he's not the fourth.
Keep the train going.
Huh?
But Jakey really, his middle name is not your middle
He is
name.
the fourth.
Okay.
You don't gotta have the same middle name to be the fourth.
Oh, I thought
No.
it had to be all the same,
No,
like
it's
Jacob,
just-
Eugene.
Jake actually fixed the name change because our pop-up changed his middle name to Eugene. His middle name was Elijah, and then he changed it to Eugene.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So I changed
So
it
he,
back.
because he wanted to sound less ethnic.
Eugene.
That's because he's from the South, man. Eugene changed his name legally to Eugene, so then Jake changed it back. So if there's a fifth,
Yeah, I mean, I don't care if he names his son like Jakey. He don't.
I mean, at this point, you better.
Right.
We
But
trying to
he-
get to 100.
But he wants. He was like, I'm gonna name my son
Yeah.
the fifth. Like he's like all
Right.
souped about it as a kid.
Right.
the fifth. Jake's not happy.
I just wanted to give him his own identity. I felt like, hey.
I have no son. So.
Well, you did name your daughter after you,
Well, her middle name is Jamie. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
so it's there. You know,
It's in there. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't care. Speaking of sons, I saw a news story here. I don't know. I just want to play
Boy
this real
Crisis
quick.
Disney. That was last week.
No. I saw a news story here. You're gonna like this one, James.
All right, let me hear it.
Let me find it. Oh, here it is. Defying science, American parents are turning away from male circumcision.
That's right. Not just me, Simone too. Look at him over there.
He didn't turn away.
He
Simone-
did. He didn't circumcise his son.
Really?
He snipped the tip.
Yeah. No circumcised.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He did it.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was breaking. You said he was breaking tradition. He didn't break tradition. He continued with it.
No. I said. You
They're
said
breaking
Simone
tradition.
too.
Oh, there.
Yeah. It says American parents are turning
Oh,
away
okay, I got you.
from male circumcision in the article. So the trend is starting to go the other way.
Right.
And of course they're trying to frame it because this is a propaganda article. It says defying science. Like,
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Defying science.
So they're saying that if you don't get the tip snipped, you're defying science.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably going to be labeled in the same categories as anti-vaxxer soon.
Right.
You know what I mean? They
Going
can't cut
down.
off that
Dang.
money.
They're gonna come at us, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Emma. He just said hi. We had some good talks after practice. Yes. I mean, after practice, after our
Pickup.
game. We had a game yesterday, pickup game.
Nice. Shout out to Emma. What's up, brother? Yeah. So it says our risk benefit analysis showed that benefits exceeded procedural risks by up to 200 to 1.
What list the benefits?
So it says, I don't know. I didn't get the whole article, but they're trying to show that the benefits are 200.
But they don't
to
like
1.
that people are. They don't like that people are way more educated about it now because we have access. I mean, aside we always make fun of like technology, but technology has allowed people to instantly research things and find out for themselves. And I think back when, well, not us, but when our parents were parents, there was. What were you going to do?
Yeah.
Either
you had to trust everything the doctors told you.
And now we have, and like I said, I did. It's not that I'm necessarily for or against. I have my personal preference, but at the same time, I feel like what they don't tell you is the marketing behind it, which we touched base on it before. It's
a huge
cosmetic
industry.
surgery.
Yeah.
It's not necessary. But what they don't tell you is that they sell the foreskin to make regenerative cream for old
Sandra
ladies.
Bullock. Yeah.
They don't tell you that part.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that industry has taken a hit. A lot of times when the science comes out, it is in lieu of them missing out on what was,
Well, it's these big businesses will pay for studies to prove that you need to buy their products. Like they will create an entire fake study around.
Which never, and the other part of it was cleanliness, which never made sense because if you use soap to clean the other part of your body, why would it not work on that part of your body? It's like, come on now.
Yeah.
But I think it's just more, like you said, like when you see articles like this, even the way how they frame things, because when you caught that there, defying.
Yeah.
Because it's already putting it in a light.
Yeah. The headline is to give you language to shape how you feel about it. Yeah.
Defying.
Why would they defy science?
Right.
Conspiracy theorists are running wild.
Right.
They're not.
They say men being men is defying science right now.
That's true.
So, come on.
Did you guys talk about the Disney thing last week?
With Snoop Dogg?
No, just in general, how they lost the male demographic.
No.
Oh, you didn't talk about it?
No, we didn't talk about that. But we can. Like, what did you see about it?
No, I saw. So they purchased. Speaking of circumcision boys, so they bought the properties of Star Wars and
Marvel. Yeah.
Right?
Well, they went on a woke tour.
Yes, we know.
And the Force is female. Remember that? And then, of course, like introducing more female-driven characters, but not in a sense of like building the character, more like in defiance of men.
Yeah.
And so
it was like
That's what it feels like.
Because what was the chick's name in Star Wars? That just
Catherine.
Ray. Yeah.
Oh.
Like she just had all this ability for no reason.
Right.
Like she just
and it instantly unlocked.
She barely trained with Luke.
Right. Well, that's what they're saying.
Man. She was the great
the chosen one.
the
was
granddaughter.
she was a
right?
Palpatine.
Yeah.
She's Palpatine's granddaughter.
Yeah.
So what?
That happened to get the
Luke was
Force.
Darth Vader's son. He still had to train to get his. He sucked at
Yeah,
first.
you're on his back in a swamp.
She did training. She did like a day and a half with Luke. Come on, man.
And then he died
And then he died.
for no reason.
Listen, those Star Wars were horrible.
Yeah.
Well, listen, the numbers are in.
Yeah.
They lost a lot of money. I think so. They're trying to de-wokeify what they've done. Well, they've destroyed the brands.
T-Wolfify.
Well, we're seeing that across the board, right?
Exactly.
Like we talked about American
Businesses,
Eagle.
yeah.
Listen.
We see Cracker Barrel had to change course right away.
Oh yeah.
So and now Disney is feeling the fury because they've lost hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
Yeah.
With a useless message. I remember Blade was gonna get rebooted, right? And Blade started it all. He was the first black superhero,
Right.
aside from I know Black Panther gets all the credit.
Yeah.
But Wesley Snipes was first.
Yeah.
Anyway, they happened to leak
Anyway.
the script of Blade. Check it out.
Oh no.
It was gonna be a woman.
No, it was gonna be Blade being old, and his daughter is now the vampire hunter,
Oh my
and
goodness.
he's relegated to Whistler.
Yeah.
And she's like
She's
navigating
like a badass. Yeah.
right, but it's like it's her and her friends. Her and her
Okay.
female friends.
Right.
Hold up,
It's a
this
whole-
is the new one because they
They canned it. It didn't.
they
test well
canned
at
it
all.
like 3 times, I think.
It was crazy. They went.
Was Wesley going to be in it?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was
Mahershala
it's,
Ali.
yeah.
Listen,
Ali
it's-
dude.
Like they had the Iron Man thing with the girl.
Yeah. Mhm.
That was horrible.
Oh, Ironheart, that was
Yeah.
like the
It's done.
worst.
It's done. They canceled it.
They had.
It's
There's so many.
had a-
things they got. It's just bad.
5 years they had it.
Wow.
Doesn't make sense.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, everything, and when you look at all of the directors, all the people that are in charge, the people that are making these decisions, like I thought you were going to talk about the Snoop Dogg thing because he went
Yeah, that-
viral
that-
for
yeah.
making the comment
Right.
about.
And he didn't say anything wrong.
Yeah.
He just pointed out what I saw too. I was
Did
like,
you guys see that clip of Snoop Dogg
Yeah.
that went viral? Yeah, because he took his grandson to see a Disney movie, and all of a sudden there's 2 women with a child, and the son's got questions.
Yep.
He got backlash and said an apology.
Yeah, but then
Oh, he apologized? For what?
he ended up apologizing because he got pressured. But-
All he said was he don't want nothing.
He's just protecting
nothing
his
to
brand.
do with it, right?
Yeah.
He said he's scared to go to the movies now. But I just want to pull this up, Mom. Like, these are the people that are the ones. This is the screenwriter for that. These are the people that again for
The
Lightyear. For
glasses.
Lightyear. And when you look at the Star Wars stuff, who was the director? It was a woman, a woke woman.
Yep.
When you look at
Star Wars? No.
yeah,
I
that
mean,
the
producer.
the producer. That's
Well, she was
Kathleen,
the head of-
Kathleen Kennedy. She was the
Yeah,
head of Star
head of
Wars.
Star
Yeah.
Wars.
I don't know if
Yeah.
she's still there anymore though.
Nah, they canned her.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you look at most of this stuff, it's when you look at the Cracker Barrel thing, we showed that. It's a woman with these very similar glasses, just in
And-
a different color.
And someone had an interesting take, which I was like, yeah, this is true. They were like, wait a minute. Nobody's anti-women because we accepted Sarah Connor
Yeah.
in Terminator. We accepted Ripley.
Bro, Ripley was huge in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. And
Like,
she
people
came out,
love that
Yeah.
character.
When did Aliens come out? I think 77?
77,
77.
yeah.
And she was an unknown star.
Right.
I mean, no, she wasn't a star then. She was an unknown actress.
Actress, yeah.
And we accepted her in that role.
Why? Because it was more believable.
And she wasn't preachy.
It wasn't preachy, and it wasn't that she just had this astronomical ability to beat the crap out of men.
Right.
She was. It
Yeah.
was like a woman who was trying to just figure it
Survive,
out
yeah,
and
yep.
survive, and
Yeah.
and it made sense.
Right.
I think it's funny. People don't like to be preached at. People don't like to be told you have to do this. Right? And I think that's what every time it's just over and over again. And even the stuff that I heard you say I got a bunch of stuff and I'm not here.
Yeah.
All that stuff that I wanted to talk about with like the NeverEnding Story
Yeah.
and like just that whole line, you'll see like how that plays out because that's usually always a thing, and then people will go to some other thing,
Yeah.
like this woke, a different type of woke, and then it's always about control again, But I think that's what we do, because if you think about it, like communism becomes oppressive, but they call for revolution from the monarchy and
Yeah.
the fascists.
Yeah.
But then because that's
Authoritarians.
oppressive,
Yeah.
But then that becomes even more oppressive. So it's like it just goes one way or the other, right? And everything is oppressive because we need true freedom, and it only comes from God.
Yeah.
So we're always dealing with this back and forth because religion is like when we're dealing with like legalism, where people are always looking at your sin before everything else. Like, that's oppressive.
Yeah, it is. And that's why a lot of people rebelled against the church. That's why you have a situation like people looking into Aleister Crowley and all of these other things. That's why you have, when you look at the thing with PBD that we're going to get into later a little bit, like you have all these young people going to college and being indoctrinated into Marxism and communism and thinking that that's the better way. Of course, that always sounds better when you don't want to work. But before we get into all of that, we got to talk about over the weekend the Blue Anon. Have you guys heard of Blue Anon?
No, I'm not.
So we know what
Talked about it
QAnon.
before.
We know what QAnon is, right? My mom used to be a member.
It used to be.
Does it have to do with fire?
No.
Start Simone.
No, it's so QAnon was the right wing, far right conspiracies, right? Blue Anon is when it happens on the left.
Okay.
We talked about it right after the election. Remember when all those like tarot card readers and stuff and astrologers were saying that Kamala Harris was going to be installed, and the stars are saying, and they were giving all these predictions, and people were on TikTok, running with this wild conspiracy. So over the weekend, they started running with this conspiracy that Donald Trump is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. It became this huge thing on TikTok, this big conspiracy that Donald Trump is dead and they're hiding it, and he's, it's going to come out, and Donald Trump's dead. They were celebrating. I'll play a little bit of the where you can see where kind of all this came from. So last week, Trump was on Fox News talking about the Ukraine and Russia visit that he had with Putin, and it kind of started from this.
I want to end it. We're not losing American lives. We're not losing American soldiers. We're losing Russian and Ukrainian, mostly soldiers. Some people, as missiles hit wrong spots or get lobbed into cities like Kiev and towns. But, if I can save 7,000 people a week from being killed, I think that's I want to try and get to heaven if possible. I'm hearing I'm not doing well. I hear I'm really at the bottom of the totem pole. But if I can get to heaven, this will be one of the reasons. Well, I think I saved a lot of lives with India, Pakistan. They were going at it. The planes were being shot down. That was going to be maybe a nuclear war if I let that go. And I did that through trade. I was
Several days later.
So you heard him say that, like, I'm trying to get into heaven. I heard I'm not doing well.
Oh, God.
So people took that and ran with it. Like, he's joking around about the life that he lived and like where he's at now. So
Is that what
they took that and ran with it.
He
bro.
admitted that he's sick. He's not doing good.
Plus, there was pictures of him with like a bruise on his hand, and they were there was pictures. People were circulating these pictures of his legs, and all of these like doctors were on TikTok diagnosing him with terminal illnesses and all of these conditions, and So now let's play a little bit of the reaction to this on TikTok. And just keep in mind, this is going to be disturbing and horrible.
It's about midnight on August 30th. You are going to see a lot of left-wing, big-name influencers peddling the conspiracy that Donald Trump is dead. This was all started because Laura Kozian, I think that's how you say her last name, she's a freelance foreign policy journalist who's very well respected, tweeted out that she thinks it's weird that President Trump has not had a public event since Tuesday and does not have any public events going into this weekend. Now, I'm going to tell you the real reason I think that is because there's a pretty good explanation for that.
Keep in mind, can we just start by saying, like, Donald Trump has been talking on camera, in front of news, in front of press, doing press conferences, interviews almost every single day from the time he's been inaugurated. Joe Biden, we wouldn't see him for months, and they never wanted to talk about what was clearly a problem with him. But
we were thinking, like, is this dude all right?
Yeah,
because a lot of times he wasn't.
You're right, and we find out now that he wasn't. He had cancer the whole time.
But ever since she tweeted this, left-wing Twitter is celebrating like it's 1999. I am so sick of like these people claiming that, when they go low, we go high. We're the party of morals and decency. They're celebrating Trump being dead right now on bullshit rumors.
Word on the streets is that man passed. Word on the streets is that man passed. And I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer or nothing, but it seems a little bit too serendipitous that he perished on Labor Day weekend when everybody already got they grills ready. Everybody already about to barbecue. People got a day off. I don't know. This seems too good to be true.
It's just so weird to see how absolutely deplorable and trashy and hateful and disrespectful a lot of people, especially a lot of black people, have become over this election, over a man who's actually helping our community.
Boy. So
Yeah, so you got a couple clips there. I'll show you guys this here. This is people that were posting on X. This one says, this is from Cosmic Dust. Official, confirmed of Trump is passed away at the age of 79. Trump is dead. White House confirmation. This is on X. This was, I think it was, August 30th. The Iran Times. Trump is gone. He's no more, according to social media. And then they show the bruise on his hand there. Then you had Tim Waltz. Like, if this guy wasn't already, just on the bottom of your list of men to follow, listen to his remarks. Like, I think this was yesterday on Labor Day.
You get up in the
Oh gosh, really loud.
morning and you doom scroll through things, and although I will say this, the last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. Just saying. There will be news sometime, just so you know, there will be news.
Like, what? He's sitting there joking about hoping that there would be news that Trump died. But it will be one day. It will be one day. So again,
And it'll be one day for all of us.
right. But again, like, he's even stirring the pot with the conspiracy theories. So then, of course, today, Trump does a briefing at the White House where he lets everybody know about they're going to be moving SpaceX to Alabama or something, or Colorado, something like that. I forget. But what was the purpose of the news briefing? So everyone was speculating and saying, like, oh, today they're going to announce it at 2 because they were saying that Trump was going to address the nation at 2 o'clock at the White House briefing. They were saying, oh, they're going to announce that Trump passed away and blah, blah, blah. And then it was 2:45 and he still hadn't come on yet. And like, it was going, I was watching, I was looking on X. Everybody was, oh, he definitely died. Like, it was crazy. So then they brought it open and Trump comes out and he starts talking, and then X just starts filling up with comments like, people pissed. Wow. Pissed. People pissed. I think I saw.
Does he address it?
They asked him about it.
They thought I was dead.
They asked him about it. Yeah, like, look. So what was the point of uploading old pics and vids of him? Why can't he just die? Really? Look, this person said, #Trump dead. They are not the same neck. Blue Anon, baby. Oh God, he's alive.
That's sad.
Look, Trump is still unfortunately alive. Because #Trump dead was trending all weekend. But yeah, let's listen to Trump being asked about this whole thing.
It's sort of crazy, but last week I did numerous news conferences, all successful. They went very well, like this is going very well. And then I didn't do any for 2 days, and they said, there must be something wrong with him. Biden wouldn't do them for months. You wouldn't see him. And nobody ever said there was ever anything wrong with him, and we know he wasn't in the greatest of shape. No, I heard that. I get reports. Now, you knew I did an interview that lasted for about an hour and a half with somebody, and everybody saw that was on one of your competitors. I did numerous shows and also did a number of truths, long truths, I think pretty poignant truths. No, I was very active over the weekend. They also knew I went out to visit some people at the club that I own pretty nearby on the Potomac River. And no, I've been very active, actually, over the weekend. I didn't hear that one. That's pretty serious stuff.
I'm glad it's
Well, it's fake news. You know, it's just it's so fake. That's why the media has so little credibility. I knew they were saying, like, is he okay? How's he feeling? What's wrong? I said, I just left. And it's also sort of a longer weekend, you know. It's Labor Day weekend.
Holiday weekend.
I would say a lot of people know. I was very active this Labor Day. I had heard that, but I didn't hear it to that extent.
Yeah, so Peter Ducey asked him about it. Like, did you hear about the fact that people were saying that you died? He was like, he didn't even hear about that. He just heard, he knew that they were reporting like, oh, he might be sick because he hasn't done a press conference in 2 days. Like,
what can be done? Is there anything that can be done for like someone who posts something like that?
I mean,
it's freedom of speech, I guess.
I think it falls under
Yeah.
freedom of speech, man. There's not much that I mean, the funny thing is, yeah.
Inciting,
No, what I
But
was gonna say is, before Elon Musk bought X, if anyone posted anything like that against Biden, they would be banned immediately. But yeah, when it comes to Trump, they don't care. Even on TikTok, like we've got our TikTok banned twice already for nothing, like literally nothing. But these people can make whole videos about celebrating the death of Donald Trump, and TikTok does nothing. People are making videos on there teaching young teenagers how to transition and how to, evade their parents and what's disconnect from their parents. Then nothing happens to them. But we get banned for posting a video about Pinocchio. You know what I'm saying? It's breaking down what Pinocchio was about. Yeah, so I don't know what could be done about it. I mean, that's the problem is like once you start trying to censor certain people, then it opens it up for everybody.
Yeah, no, they're doing the right thing in terms of not censoring people. I'm just saying that for people to spread something like that, that's serious in terms of his family and stuff like that. I mean, I understand the First Amendment, but
Man, it happens with more than him. It happens with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
They think somebody's dead. Like, that happens so much.
I see people YouTube channel. They have a whole channel and they put a picture of a star.
Yeah.
And they're like sad news, and it's like,
It's
who's
just
doing
fake.
this?
Yep. Because they just want the clicks. Because they make money off of that. It's sad to say, but those channels make money. I just to me, it's shows you the state of the divisiveness when you have people that are like celebrating, hoping that what do they think is going to happen? Even say he did a tragedy came along and he did pass away, because people were posting up something else that J.D. Vance said. He was asked about Trump's health and he was saying how healthy he was, but he said if something did happen, I would be ready to step up. And they took that and ran with it. Oh, he's trying to tell us, you know what I mean? But that's you're gonna get J.D. Vance. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're gonna get J.D. Vance. So
you have a re-election that he dies.
yeah, they think Kamala Harris is gonna get installed. Is that what they think?
This is what politics have turned into here.
Yeah.
It's just people who are just on the fringe of lunacy, man.
Yeah.
You're crying. And I don't even think they mean it. I think it's just a cry for attention. Putting that thing about your eye crying, all that
posting that.
Yeah, you just want attention.
I always find it weird to see people posting those crying videos, or something happens and you took the time to set up your phone on a tripod,
right,
push the button, and then start crying, and then film it and edit it and filter it, and then put it
Or did you just put eye drops in your eyes and then
you could be?
water?
But even if you were really crying, oh, this is so tragic, what just happened to me?
No, but
let me film it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
that's
you see,
so crazy.
Have you ever seen the one where the woman's I think they're in the car and they're like, look like you're crying,
no,
they're trying to get the kids to look like they're all upset.
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, dude, this happens a lot now.
Yeah.
People, it's easy to project an image now because you just get so used to performing online.
Yeah,
and it's all about likes and going viral. Everything is about going viral. Speaking of going viral, and speaking of the left, I don't know if you guys have been seeing the left is really trying their best to reach the youth again, and they're doing it in the form of song. They've been
seeing them sing a lot.
They've been doing a lot of songs, and if you look at this young strapping bunch of with it young folk. Mom, can you pull this up, please? In this video, they're about to show you that they mean business.
Took back what he stole from us. Took it back. Took back our dignity. Took it back. Took back our humanity. Well, we went down to the rich man's house and we took back what he stole from us. Took it back. Took back our dignity. Sing, y'all. Took it back. Sing it, took back our humanity. And now we're out in the streets. Out in the streets. Ooh. Out in the streets. Yeah. Out in the streets. Ain't gonna let no fascists take. Took
Yeah, and then last week, didn't we show the poll where they lost 2 million voters in the Democratic Party? Yeah.
I'm seeing this a lot. I'm seeing a lot of, like, even up by me.
Yeah.
There's like a
Oh,
conglomerate of like old people, middle-aged old white people.
Off of 38.
They have nothing else better to do.
And they're there all the time.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. I think they're getting paid because.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
My buddy said drive around the Aldi's and all their cars were back there, and they're putting on shirts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know,
They probably got paid, these guys.
Yeah, they got paid.
There's no way you have this much time.
Here's another group of them at a protest to free Kilmar.
Yes.
Abrego
That's
Garcia.
the song I heard.
Listen to this one.
But not help Umar.
Yeah.
It's a hit.
No!
That's why I sent him back. What?
No, he's supposed to be getting sent to Uganda, now.
Why?
Yeah. Because the judges won't let them send him back to El Salvador. But he's been proven to be a trafficker. Like, they have hard evidence.
So these are literally like leftist judges.
Yes. They're trying to block everything Trump is doing.
Yeah.
So now he's about to send him to Uganda. So that's why these people are protesting. But I'm just looking at it like, what man could say, yeah, I want to be a part of this. Yeah, that's exactly what I want to be down with. Like, look at that crew of people.
They made a sign.
Those are the type of men that are very excited around June.
Yeah.
By the way, I've seen actual footage of people doing this.
Yeah.
And people coming up and saying, "Hey, excellent. Would you like to take these people?" And they bring a couple of Mexicans with them, and they close the door on them. You know,
Can you put that back up?
What?
Just put it up for a second.
I already got rid of it. Let me see.
Well,
I'll bring it back.
What I noticed was every woman in the front has glasses.
Bro, didn't I tell you about the glasses, bro?
Those glasses.
Every woman, look.
Yep.
They all
Not everyone.
in the front.
In the front, yes.
Yeah.
They got two hiding, but I'm talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 women in the front got glasses.
Yep. Yeah.
I think they're all being paid, man.
They are, but I'm just saying, like, even the optics of it, like, they don't realize they're doing more harm than good.
Right.
Like,
Well, that's what I'm saying. And the guy, this is not a skit. The guy really did show up with undocumented and saying, "Hey,
take them with
in."
you." Yeah.
And none of them.
Yeah.
They're all
Well,
like,
I can't do that.
Yeah.
I
You
don't
talking
have-
about the guy that was on the griller?
I think so.
That was an old one.
Okay, but this one is a younger guy, but he basically came up, interviewed them, and they were all like, "Yeah, it's this and it's that," and he's like, "Great." He's like, "So we have a petition here." And he's trying.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I saw that one.
too.
Yeah.
And then he brings them up, and he brings his buddies back there.
Yeah.
Hector, come on.
They're like, "Oh, no, you can't. I can't take them in my house."
Right. They're phonies.
And the crazy thing is, like, you could tell these are the people that were the hippies during the 60s, during that whole movement. They were the ones that, like, they felt like they were the rebels during that time. And now they're still trying to hold on to that a little bit.
Yeah.
Wait, Bill Burr does a great analogy on this. He said, "I don't even think they were that. Those are the people who enjoyed all of the niceness of the suburbs. They never had children, or they never had anything to invest in, and they need a cause now to pretend that they're fighting a good fight."
Right.
But there was a time when they lived the quote unquote glorious life in the suburbs and could care less about this.
Right.
But now they're older, they have no children, they have nothing to invest in except for their dog and their cats and their little committee. And he's like, and so they pretend, they cosplay this
These
sort of like
revolutionaries. Yeah.
And I was like, yo, that is true. Like,
Yeah.
because I know some people around my age who they never want to get married, they never want to have nothing, and now it's happening. Mostly females. They're now like,
They have to struggle to find purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they their life is, they feel like their life is meaningless. And I'm like, yeah, but you chose this.
Yeah.
You know? So I think a lot of those people they could just be paid too, but I think a lot of them are just, they're cosplaying this sort of woke thing. You know? Because if you catch them like 20 years prior, they won't have nothing to do with this.
Right.
You know,
They were all working their corporate jobs.
yeah, climbing up the ladder.
Yeah. I got one more, Mom. I'm just gonna play a little bit of Jesse Waters reacting to these people.
We'll fight against Joe. We'll fight Elon Musk. No Elon's
that the same
within
people?
our walls. We'll fight from
Yeah, it
dawn
looks like
to
the same
dusk.
people.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Trump's coming for our unions. He wants us all to fail. He wants us to bow to him.
They don't even know the words. They just, I don't know, man. It's like, what are they even trying to say? None of that they're saying even makes sense. He's going to come for the unions, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So Democrats are, if that's the optics they want to go with, if they want to go with singing boomers in the fields at the rallies, listen, good luck. All right. Speaking of lefties and liberals and then these revolutionaries, let's talk a little bit about PBD on this Jubilee thing where he debated 20, that format where they debate 20
I started,
people.
but I didn't finish.
Yeah. So I got some highlights and some clips of different spots where he went back and forth with some people.
You got the one where he offered the guy a job?
Yes, that's what I'm about to play right now. It's just like the people that you're talking about. Oh, you care about the illegals? Well, here goes one for you. He offers this guy a job. He's like, well, I'll look into it. Yeah.
Nobody was going back.
Yeah. I put in 477 applications. All right, let's play it.
On your resume.
It says that.
What do you have on your resume? Skill set. What do you offer?
Transportation expertise, logistics expertise.
You consider yourself a hard worker.
I mean, I feel
You
like
said
80 hours a week.
That's a
something like
hard
that.
worker.
Sure.
How about we do this? How about I interview you and I give you a job? Would you move to Fort Lauderdale?
Ooh, man, that's Florida. Sure, why not?
Would you move to Fort Lauderdale?
Sure, why not?
How about you and I document this? After this, you come, I do an interview with you, and I give you a job. And let's see what you do 90 days later.
Okay, I'll look up your company and all that kind of stuff, and I'll see it.
But you
like,
see what just happened
regardless,
right there? But
Mike,
watch what you just did.
Sure.
You just said you applied to 477 companies who's not gone back to you.
Yeah.
A business owner who's hiring aggressively just made an offer to you. You said you're willing to move. Then you said, I'll look at it. You became selective.
I didn't
You
say I look at it
contradicted
if you'd let me
yourself.
finish my sentence.
Go ahead. I want to hear it.
I would like to look into your company to
Yeah.
see exactly what you guys do.
You would like to.
Because I don't know what you guys do.
Okay.
So as far as I'm concerned, I may be wasting my time going. If you guys are a finance company, if you guys are a bank or something like that, I don't have the certifications. I don't have the degrees. So even
Bro, he's not going to make you an executive. He could just give you a job, work in the mailroom or something. Like, at least you said you want a job.
Or his private chauffeur.
Right.
Got some driving skills.
Right, exactly.
Viewing me
But what
would be a
if
moot
I
point.
gave you a job, period, to work 80 hours a week? Would you take it? And I paid you a reasonable wage.
Are we talking a livable wage or a reasonable wage?
What do
and
you make
whose
right
version
now?
of reasonable are we
What do you
talking
make
about?
right
Your
now?
version of reasonable or my version of
But you
reasonable?
see, so now for me, what I'm noticing from you is
I need specifics?
No, not necessarily. No, most of the people I hired need specifics. The difference is I'm trying to hire them. In this instance, you're trying to get a job and you're being selective. It's going to work against
I mean,
you.
I'm not trying to get a job. Originally, I was
My
trying to
offer-
ask you where the
Exactly.
moral
That's where he told the truth right there. He's not trying to get a job. He wants to continue wearing those T-shirts and hanging out in his mom's basement while everybody else works, and he gets paid off of the government. He wants,
Growing that Star Wars ponytail.
yeah, he wants to be able to focus on that.
He's a Padawan.
Right,
Forever.
right. He's probably got 14 strains of weed that he grows in his mom's basement. And, he wants to continue to do that while other people work and fit the bill. Because this is the thing about communism that people don't understand. They think that there's just money that appears in the government and that they can just distribute it to everybody. And then all of a sudden, everyone has a place to live and everyone has food in abundance. They don't understand that people have to work to create these things. Who's going to farm? Who's going to make sure the food is delivered to you? Who's gonna upkeep your apartment? If you have a place to live, who's gonna do the plumbing work? Someone has to do the work. And if you have a bunch of people that want to sit around and be given everything, where's their incentive to work?
Yeah.
And then it just starts to collapse.
Right.
because you're going to have a bunch of people that are just a strain on the system and on the people that are willing to work and they work hard to supply all the needs for the entire group.
You have plenty of time to come up with excuses.
Right. Exactly. And you see how selective, how many excuses he got now that he got a job offer right in front of his face.
We're off the
Go ahead.
No, just play it.
table
Okay, that's
because
fine.
you're going to be difficult to work with.
Okay, sure. But my question was, where is my moral failing? Like, where is it that you are saying that I am not working hard enough and I am not doing
I just
enough?
experienced it right now because the way you just handled this situation.
Got it. So I should
was-
accept anything
No,
that somebody
it's not-
gives me
not
at
at
first
all.
blush
No.
if it is a guaranteed thing.
No, not necessarily.
I agreed
but-
I agreed to do your interview. I agreed to be interviewed by you,
Yeah,
and you
but-
agreed to consider me for hiring.
Yeah.
So therefore, I am taking that opportunity. I've chosen to. But because I am asking you for specifics, your immediate reaction is that, oh, well, you're trying to be picky. when I'm not. I'm asking.
specifics. You could have simply
I said I need to look up your company. That's all I
you could have
said.
said is, I'm willing to have the interview.
And I
Right,
did.
We would have had the interview.
Bro, anybody that's an employer would, first of all, looking at you and then dealing with your attitude, who would want to hire you?
Yeah.
So even if he even is telling the truth about all the applications that he put out there, which he's probably not telling the truth, but
If you're talking to him, just bottom line.
Yeah.
You talk to somebody like that, does that inspire you or deplete you?
Yeah. To me, it's
he's
like
draining.
What I want
why
someone
would
like
you want
that
that around you?
Because and what's that going to do to the rest of your organization, the culture of your employees?
Because he's going to put it in their heads. Because his whole focus is he's looking for the wrong things, and that's the attitude.
Yeah.
The attitude is literally what you're tuned into. And the tuning into something is your focus.
Yeah.
So you're literally like, he's looking for those things, and that's the problem. Because now he's going to pick those things apart in somebody else, and he's going to pick those things apart in his company.
Yeah.
Like he's just going to be looking for those things.
Yeah.
And they didn't show that part, but he was like, at the beginning of that, he said like, I put in
477
You said
applications.
it,
Yeah.
but it wasn't
Yeah.
on there. And he's like, just the worst. Even him saying it, he's so a matter of fact. It's like, yeah, you already know. You already know.
He's basically trying to paint the picture like it's hopeless for people that want to get a job.
Right. And that's the thing. So my point is that like, okay, you're right. Now what?
But then you have somebody that's right in front of you saying, it's not hopeless. I'll give you a job right now.
But that's my thing.
Yeah.
Like, you're right. Now what?
Yeah.
You're going to just, you got it.
So then communism.
You got it. Like stay where you are then.
Yeah.
Or there's an opportunity.
Yeah.
But then that causes him to have to shift his whole paradigm. See what I mean?
Yeah.
He has the focus. He has to change and tune out of the attitude that he has. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Patrick David was basically like showing.
Yeah,
or
because I think
exposing.
his prompts were like, one of them was that capitalism has pulled more countries out of poverty than any other system. That was his one premise, so they had to argue against that. The other one was if you took all of the money in the world and distributed evenly amongst every person in the world, the same people would end up wealthy within 6 months or something like that, he said. Which, their whole arguments, well, we'll just play a little bit more. Listen to this. This is another exchange with a guy that he also was trying to show like, yo, you could make money.
I changed. So can you. Look at the way you're speaking to me.
You can
Do you know
change, you can
somebody
work hard, but
do you know
you're not-
somebody like you? Do you know somebody like you that speaks this eloquently? If somebody gets a hold of you in real estate, insurance, finance, you can learn how to sell and you can make some real good money. Somebody
But
like you
not,
that I'm
you're
watching.
not everybody's born with those abilities. You have to be
brother.
like somebody who's white, tall, 6'4", whatever. They're
I'm
much
Middle
more
Eastern. I'm from Iran. Do you
But think
realize
about
a lot of
somebody
stuff
who's
that
not
goes
born-
against me?
Okay, but many people have no choice to
But
physically
that's an
alter.
excuse language to be making. That's I changed.
You see how
So
everything
can-
is my obstacles, my excuses, why
victimless.
I can't do it. Everything is why I can't. And he's trying.
Nothing about like I watched the beginning of it. They were talking about a hardworking mom who has to work 3 jobs. She's a single mom. How did she get? She made life hard for herself. There's no accountability.
Well, he said is that her fault that she has to work 3 jobs to? And Patrick David said sometimes it is.
The choices
you
that
know?
you made in life make your life harder.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's not for everybody. Not, you know.
But that's the argument that they always try to make. What about the single mom who has to work 3 jobs just to survive? Right. She can never work her way into being rich because capitalism is designed to keep her in that position because it needs workers. Mm-hmm. But it's like, no, but that the reality of life is that we do need workers and that there will always be the poor, right? Like Jesus told us. But the problem is a lot of that has to do with people's own decision makings and their own failures and choices that they make. So you can't expect everyone to make it to be rich. Right. It's not going to happen.
And they've done plenty of research where they show that most people are just asking for money to be thrown in a situation, but it's really the mental, because they've documented people coming in and saying, all right, fine. Yeah. If you're saying it's money, let's give someone money and see what they do with it. And within hours, they spend it all. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or days, if you know. Mm-hmm. So it is a state of mind. And most of these people were probably educated, or at least presenting themselves that way. But you could tell that they're a professional victim. Yeah. They have all the words, they have all the analogies. That they just want to look at one system as being bad. Yeah. That's it.
Yep. You know? They want it to be evil, and that the only way out is to take money and distribute it to everyone and create a socialist society.
But
Here,
benefiting from capitalism.
Yeah.
Living in capitalism.
They're in capitalism.
Right.
They don't know what it's like to be in communist.
That was one of his other prompts too, that America is mostly a socialist country at this point. Yeah. Just because of all the social programs. Mm-hmm. And there was a clip where he talked about it, like the amount of money taken from all of the taxes that goes to social programs. It's like 60%.
Sure.
60%.
And we've heard stories of people who are basically saying, don't give me this amount of hours, or don't give me more. Yeah. Because I don't want to lose the program.
My EBT.
And it's not that they're saying, the management system is saying, hey, listen, you're doing well enough. I want to give you more. Yeah. So you get out of this. Right. You know, but you're saying, I watched a whole video of a woman yelling at her daughter or son for going over the allotted hours, so she would keep the state benefits instead of getting out of that.
Right. Does that sound like that's a system that's designed to help you get ahead?
And I've been in the trades for a while, and I'll tell you, I've done many repairs for landlords, and these people are on these programs for years. Mm-hmm. Like
some of them pass it down.
Children are being born, and grandchildren are being. I'm like, wow.
Some of them pass it down through generations. Mm-hmm. Like it's insane.
Which the landlords, of course, like the people who do own it, they love it because it's a guaranteed check. Yeah. You know.
Let's play this next clip.
Do that. I have my son is sitting right here, my 13-year-old son, I have 4 kids. I bring them everywhere. I want them to see that it's okay. People going to disagree with you. You have to be comfortable with this.
All the time.
You are right.
What?
Dude, that was so funny. When I saw that clip, I was like, look at his face. What?
13-year-olds all the time.
What? Because of my job. Because I'm a substitute teacher and a tutor.
Do that. I have my...
That was just like a set. It seemed almost like a parody.
Yes. Because I mean, even everything about the dude, like his hair, his personality.
Looks like
is that a dude, though?
That is a dude.
Just give him a thing of pizza. Portnoy.
That is a dude, bro.
That's not a trans.
I think he wants to make that line blurred, but that was just funny. Let's watch it again because it's a quick one.
Do that. I have my son is sitting right here, my 13-year-old son, I have 4 kids. I bring them everywhere. I want them to see that it's okay. People going to disagree with you. You have to be comfortable with this.
All the time.
You are with 13-year-olds all the time?
What?
Because
yeah,
that's just like...
But if you watch their whole exchange, this dude is another one that's just a complete victim. Yeah. everything is victim mentality. I want to show one more of this girl who
They've been having her on a lot.
yeah. They reuse people all the time. I think especially if like they're
They
young
do
and
good.
attractive and they do good. Yeah. Let me speed this one up because it's a little bit longer.
Would be a transitionary state between capitalism and communism, where the means of production are specifically owned by workers, not privately. The idea that any country now is anywhere near socialist, let alone communist, would simply be ridiculous and just it wouldn't reflect theory whatsoever.
What is the definition of communism to you?
Stateless, moneyless, classless society.
And you prefer that?
Yeah, so I think that we should be moving towards,
Communism.
Yeah, stateless, moneyless, classless society.
So
yeah.
you don't think a person like me should exist with the amount of wealth that I have?
Yeah, because I think that we're getting to this point where we're creating fake scarcity for people
Right.
like you to accumulate the wealth that you have on the basis of private ownership.
Okay, so you're not capitalist. You're definitely not capitalist. You're not socialist. You want to go full communism.
So what do you think that looks like, though, is the thing, right? So what Marx actually wanted was for us to reach a point where we no longer have the scarcity of resources that has kind of predicted, history as it looks like now. It wouldn't happen now. It would happen as we automate. At this point in time, we can decommodify housing and food and education for around 5% of the government budget. That's 1/5.
Fact check. This claim is not realistic. For instance, U.S. consumers and entities spent $2.6 trillion on food alone in 2024. The government spent a total of $6.75 trillion. So food would have been 38% of that. So thinking that they're going to just subsidize food, that's what I'm saying. Like, where do these people think money comes from?
Yeah.
Or how products.
She said it would be automated, Jamie. Come on, man.
And how do you split? How do you split it up?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you get this amount of steak. You get this amount of, it's
A moneyless, classless.
I think they just say a bunch of stuff and
Yeah.
it sounds good, and they because that's the thing. Like, these people can talk and they know the things to say, but they lack substance.
Yeah.
Because they don't have any real life experience.
It's a bunch of entitled, spoiled people with this kumbaya mentality that is not realistic.
Yeah. It's so different when you got to actually go out and deal with people.
Yeah.
Like, literally. You got to go out and actually put it in play.
Yeah.
And, all right, go ahead and try that.
Yeah.
Try that. Go get a commune.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Try it on your own. And then if you can grow that, then
try it
people
with,
are
try
gonna-
it with 10
in
people.
Seattle.
Yeah. If you can do it, it'll grow. But don't. It's like when they gave the Native Americans the reservations.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's a lot to that, but I'm just saying, like, if you want to govern yourself, right? You got to be able to govern yourself.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to work. And I think this is what that they have these grandiose ideas because they're being told this in college and they're given these things and it sounds good to them, but they're not going to put it into action. They're not going to put it in play.
Remember that that documentary on Netflix, Wild Wild Country, with the Rajneeshis?
Yeah.
They set up camp like right inside of Oregon. Remember?
Yeah.
That was supposed to be this utopian communist society, but then you find out that they were basically just dictators, authoritarians.
Sure.
Yeah. It happens every time.
Yeah.
Part of that too is, American kids and society in whole, we're so out of touch of how things are actually made, the process, farming. We're just so far. They really think this stuff is just there.
Yeah.
They don't understand the process. They just don't. And a lot of times, many of us are not traveling to these countries to kind of see the countries with a communistic kind of. They don't know.
Yeah.
It sounds good in theory.
Why would you?
They won't go there.
I mean, why would you go to like a communist?
If you wanted
country?
to see, if you think it's great,
but
go check it out.
I think he asked this girl coming up. He's like, he says like, I'll pay for your renunciation of your American citizenship and fly you to any commune. No, it was a different girl. I think I have that clip too. But yeah, that you're saying that, it's funny because he asked her that, and this is her reaction.
I like to be free, but that's why I'm anti-capitalist.
Well, maybe you ought to
That
move
is
to
why
North
I'm
Korea or
anti-capitalist, because
Cuba or
capitalism
Venezuela.
removes that choice. There is no real incentive of capitalism because the incentive is survival. When you get into communism, the incentive is for the common good.
I love that. I got an offer for you before we move on. If I were to give you your $2,350, which is the cost to renunciate your citizenship, and I paid you your first class, flight to whatever communist country, and $20,000 to spend
Name
the
me a
money,
communist country.
would you give up your citizenship to
Name
go
me
to
a
that
communist country and I'll move
Whichever
out there.
communist country you want to go to.
yeah,
Cuba, we
that's
can
not
give
a
you
communist
Venezuela,
country.
we give you North Korea, any one of those you want to
Those
go
aren't
to.
communist countries. Not
Choose any one of them, I'll give you one
That's
way
the
ticket
thing.
and I'll fund
See
it
how
for
they,
you if you want.
dude, and this is what they do.
Move the
There's no
goalposts.
actual, no, but that's what, because they'll say, well, there's not really any.
It hasn't really been done. Yeah.
Not the way she wants it.
Yeah, right.
Can I bring Mexicans to pick my food?
Yeah.
But that's the problem. Like, you don't have anything to show for it. Yeah. Where is your image?
But they can constantly just say that because every time it's tried, it fails. Or
Right.
it ends up in the
But
authoritarian regime.
There's been no person.
Yeah.
And there's been no place you can actually put that into practice. Nobody has done it. It's never been seen.
Mhm.
That's my point. Like, it's never, how do you show me? You can't show me.
Right.
It's never been done. Because every time you say, well, how about this? How about this? How about this?
Right.
No, they didn't. No. But that's the difference. And I don't think you can really do that with anything.
Yeah.
Because we got Jesus.
Right.
Right? Like, that's our image.
Mhm.
And he's the standard, and everything else falls from that. Like, so, like, when you think about capitalism, nobody's saying capitalism is like the perfect
The
thing.
end all to be all. Yeah.
Nobody's saying, we're saying that this is something that can work if the people in it work it. But in
Yeah.
order to do that, you have to look to God.
Right.
Like, think about businesses. Businesses get the way they do because you have greedy people at the top, right? You have people with their own intentions,
Right.
and their own things at the top. But when you start, same thing with government, anything. But when you start to implement, and if people say, "Oh, that's horrible," "Oh, the government's horrible," "Oh, this is horrible," "That's horrible," and you say you're a believer, and you're taking yourself out of all those places,
Yeah.
who you giving it over to?
Right.
The devil. So it's a mindset, right? And if you have hope, then you're going to go into those places. You're going to establish God in those places, and that means it's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. It's going to take work.
Yeah.
It's not going to be perfect. You're going to fail. People around you are going to fail, and then you get up and keep doing it. That's not what people want to hear,
Yeah.
especially this mentality. They don't want to hear any of that.
Nope.
It's the opposite.
They want to blame everyone else.
They want to blame, but then they're not looking at themselves.
All right, let's finish up this last video with this chick who loves Marx.
A little bit over 1/5 of what we spend on the military already. We don't, because we were living in the state where it almost seems utopian that things
How
like
old
food
were
and
you the
shelter
first
can
time
be
you
free.
thought you wanted to be a communist? How old were you?
Is that a response
I'm
to
actually
any
really
of the
curious.
statistics?
No, because the statistics are against you.
The statistics-
It's never worked. There's so many Cubans that moved to Miami. They
The
love their
statistic that
country. They hate the
5%
politics. In Russia, they
Do you know
even
how
run
much-
away from
do you know how much
communism
money-
because it didn't work. It killed so
Because
many
that
people.
almost like it wasn't
It's
communist.
almost
Was there a state?
amateurish
Yes,
to
there was.
debate
Was there
a
class?
communistic
Yes, there
argument.
was. It's almost like you're not replying to any of the statistics that
you're
I've
a
presented to you. I
dictator.
think that's the biggest
You're
problem.
a dictator telling me what
Dictators
dreams
would not
should
be
be.
allowed under communism.
Dictators end up, of course, running communism.
they weren't.
If somebody's taxing 100%, what is a dictatorship?
So again, how much money do you think?
If I'm paying 100% in taxes, what is communism?
How much money do you think?
dictatorship.
How much money do you think would it take to, I don't know, allow everyone food, shelter, water, and education in this country?
How much money would it take?
Yeah.
But going back to your question here with communism, stay on that point there with
Nothing
communism.
I say is
But
responded
I'm
to.
trying to find out from you here. You're saying communism is not dictatorship.
No.
Define dictatorship.
Yeah, so when one person or one small entity,
Right.
is able to, enforce its will on the people. When we have a
Beautiful.
private ownership,
Yep.
when we have a system based on private ownership, that's what happens every
That's
single
dictatorship?
time. Yeah, so we
dictatorship is private ownership?
Yeah, so private-
So let me get this
private
straight. Under
ownership.
communism, under communism, doesn't Elon Musk exist?
Yeah, no.
No, so that's dictatorship. Thank you.
That's completely incorrect. Under capitalism, we don't have, the freedom for people
You
to.
do. You do.
Okay,
Of
so
course you do.
under capitalism, right?
Under
we don't see that
under
the
communism.
commodification.
Would you consider China
we don't see
communism
the
right now? Would you
commodification
consider
of
China
food,
communism right now?
shelter, or water, or
Would you
education
consider China
when we can
communism?
with 5% of the budget. Why don't we see that?
Would you consider China communism?
Why
right
haven't
now?
you answered any of my questions?
Would you consider
Why
China?
haven't you responded to any of my statistics?
Would you consider China communism?
It's almost like we're
right
not having a
now?
conversation and you're
We are
talking
having a
at me and not
conversation
with.
where you have an argument that's been proven that it's not worked.
It's almost
and
like I just
everybody
gave you
is
a definition of
moving away
communism for you
from
to
it.
critique, and you haven't been able
If
to.
it's such a great system, why are other
It hasn't
nations
happened
not?
yet because we've never been at a point for it to happen.
Because we've not found a noble person that
because
can do it
if
the
we-
right
if
way.
we-
That's not
if
a
you were to read the
dictator.
plain text
Right.
of Marx, we would see
Right.
that he wanted
I've
us
read
to reach.
Communist Manifesto. I've gone
I
through
promise
it.
you, if you
Have
have,
read
you wouldn't
Wealth
have
of
said
Nations?
that capitalism
Have you read
today
Wealth
is
of Nations?
socialist.
Have you read Wealth of
Yeah,
Nations?
so I've read Das Kapital, I've read Communist Manifesto as well, Engels' collective works, etc. What do you think? If you think that communism is in any way us having wages or us having a privatized means of production, you don't know what it is.
You choose my dreams, and I refuse to do that.
It's just college indoctrination at its finest.
It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah. Really?
Did they realize, like, okay, Marx had some ideas, right? Mm-hmm. Did he put it into play?
Nope.
Did he put it into action?
Nope.
So they're just ideas.
Yeah.
You have to put them into action. Do they work when you put them into action? Have you seen it work when you put it into action? So all you're saying is just ideas.
Mm-hmm.
You're not. They have to manifest, right? And she doesn't get that. She's looking at Marx like he's made something happen, like he's actually worked something.
It hasn't worked.
Dude died broke.
Yeah,
and begging people.
Yeah. And mad at everybody else. Like it doesn't.
He lost like 7 kids, right?
Yeah,
lost a bunch of kids.
Yeah,
stop. Like this is the issue. You think because you read a book that somebody wrote that was just human as you,
right?
Now all of a sudden
you have it all figured out,
and
now.
they did nothing.
Yeah,
like because they just wrote a book, but they didn't do anything. They didn't show anything. It blows my mind.
Yep. Yeah. So, those formats really get nowhere because it just becomes a bunch of arguing, people trying to talk over each other.
Yeah.
And she is actually, you could tell she's articulate.
Mm-hmm.
And the argument style is to just ramble.
Yeah.
It's not really getting to the point, counterpoint, or whatever. It's just rambling. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's he made the point. There's nowhere you can see that this actually worked.
Yeah.
Or point to these societies that have. You got to at least point to one.
Yeah.
You got to say, okay, if this makes sense, and this idea of how long has Karl Marx been dead? Right?
Yeah.
Long time.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is such a progressive idea, we have to have at least one
example,
society
right?
of it working.
Even show us a small community.
That's what I'm saying. Give me one. Give me
where this is like
something.
flourishing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like you go and do it.
Yeah.
You buy land.
All
right?
of them can go find somewhere.
Buy some land, right? Do a commune.
They
right?
tried it.
Make your own reservation.
Summer of Love. Didn't they try it twice?
Yeah, they tried it, and it
Didn't
always.
they try it twice?
Dude, they
Didn't
tried it
people
more than
start
twice.
Yeah.
Killing.
Do you know how many people did that in like the 60s and 70s?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And we have examples of it actually, because tribalism and a lot of the native, that is communism
It's
by
what it is.
definition.
Right.
And there is war, and they conquer each other.
Right.
And I mean, yes, within their own particular group, they do share. That is true.
Yeah, but what happens when someone can't contribute or if someone's lazy?
They get killed.
Exactly. Exactly.
And even like in Israel, they have the kibbutz.
Yeah.
That's kind of the same communism, commune type thing. But the thing is, like, you still have the government that's protecting you.
Right.
You still have a place where you can actually go and do that.
Yeah, that's why I like her idea of a stateless, classless, moneyless society. Like, that's a child's thinking. A child is just like, why can't we stay up all night and eat ice cream all day and never go to school? Like, that's how a child thinks.
Yeah. And they would turn on each other so fast when they realize that none of them actually have skills.
Yeah.
When she realized that she can't just buy all the clothes.
Yeah. Right. Get her hair braided.
done.
Yeah. Right. Makeup.
And it's always baffling to me when I see people talk like this, because you're saying that, but you could care less about that little kid making your shoes.
Yeah. Exactly.
In another country.
Or your iPhone where you do all your TikToks.
Right. You care less. You just want what you want. Hold on.
Yeah.
No. Oh.
There
You guys
you
lose
go.
me?
No, we got you.
All right, good.
All right, one more thing before we get to the stuff. I got a show over the weekend in Chicago. It was, man, horrible. Over 50 people shot in one weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
it's like 56?
Yeah. And, the whole time they're telling us that crime is not a problem. Trump is he's just crazy because he wants to do what he did in D.C. there. Let's show this. He was asked about that today, too, at the press conference. Is what he said.
Make your mind up on Chicago, though? Well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in. When you lose, look, I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing. I have an obligation. When we lose, when 20 people are killed over the last 2.5 weeks, and 75 are shot with bullets. So let me tell you a little story about a place called D.C., District of Columbia, right here where we are. It's now a safe zone. We have no crime. It's in such great shape. You can go and actually walk with your children, your wife, your husband. You can walk right down the middle of the street. You're not going to be shot, Peter. You're safe.
Peter.
You're not going to be shot,
I was
Peter.
just there.
Yeah. So
you were?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Went to the Smithsonian Zoo. Saw the pandas.
So he's basically saying they're going to go into Chicago. Here is the governor of Illinois being asked about it, and let's see what he has to say about what happened over the weekend.
You're going to hear people, especially this past weekend, 54 shot, 7 dead.
Yeah.
They're going to say the city's not safe. Would you ask your friends to ride the L after midnight or after 9 o'clock at night even to come down to the city from O'Hare?
Look, big cities have crime. There's no doubt about it. But let's just pay attention to what President Trump is doing targeting Chicago. He's overlooking red states that have much higher crime rates.
So, you see, that's the thing, though. Give an example. Like,
yeah. Tell us.
Terrible journalism.
Tell us. And she's not going to push back. She's teeing him up.
Yep.
People are going to say, 50 people were shot.
I got to ask this.
Yeah, because exactly. You're telling us that Trump is just targeting Chicago because he hates black people.
Right.
But then you have 50 people shot in one weekend.
Yeah, give me an example. Cite something there.
And you just want to say, listen, people get shot in cities all the time. Like, that's basically what he said. But Trump, people get shot in cities all the time, but we got to look at what Trump is doing. And this guy...
The state can be red, right? Majority.
Exactly, but the city is still Democrat run. Because people point... They point to Memphis, they point to Tulsa, they point to Birmingham, but those cities are blue. And they still have Democrat mayors and stuff like that. This is I forget who this guy is, but he's pretty much going to do the same thing.
How do you respond to the argument that there were something like 50 plus shootings, 52 people, I should say, were shot in Chicago, 30 different shootings over the holiday weekend, 7 people killed? Aren't numbers like that still a problem that your city needs to address? What more can be done to address that?
Well, I think that what we need to do is we also had a mass shooting in a Catholic school.
So no, not going to address it at all. Just what can be? Dude asked him, are those numbers still a problem, and what can be done to stop that? He totally goes on to something else. Deflects too. We had a shooting at a Catholic school.
We also have had many instances where the administration has really escalated, exacerbated the violence in our country, in our cities. Trump is a dictator. I think we got to be very clear. He's trying to normalize violence. He's trying to normalize military deployment in American cities like LA, DC, Chicago, and many others to come. But what we have not seen is really a systemic investment that will actually address the core issues. I had shootings in my ward. One of them was a tragic shooting of an unhoused neighbor. So the Trump administration is saying that they're going to address the issue of unhoused residents by putting them in jails, in concentration camps.
How do you...
Not answering the question.
Nothing he said connected at all.
Nope.
Made no sense.
But he got his point out there. Trump is a dictator.
And that was all the anchor was supposed to do. Ask him a question and look like you're listening. Yes. Wow.
Tell me more about this dictator part. Yeah. And then Brandon Johnson was up there grandstanding about how he is not going to let Trump come in there.
No federal troops in the city of Chicago.
We don't want crime fixed.
Force in the city of Chicago. We're going
There's the mayor, the governor right there.
In the city of Chicago. We're going to protect the humanity of every single person in the city of Chicago.
Except the people that keep getting shot. We don't care about their humanity. Yeah, so he's out there telling them we're not going to accept no federal people in Chicago.
Yeah, because if Trump does send the troops in and does shut it down, he's going to show that there's incompetency there.
Right. This is how easy it was.
And they can't, because then the citizens are really going to wake up, because I'm seeing them lighten him up.
Yeah.
In these town hall meetings.
There's a whole movement. I mean, Trump referenced it too. I forget what it's called, but I think it's Turn Chicago Red or something like that.
Right.
Where they've been going to all the city hall meetings.
Right.
They've been going to his meetings and like you said, lighten him up.
What's the black guy from Florida, Byron
Donaldson.
Byron Donaldson.
Yeah.
When there was a press conference where he was addressing, he asked these mayors about the budget. New York spends $6 billion on illegals.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago, I think they're the same.
Yeah.
Close to it.
Yep.
Right? You're telling me that none of that money could go towards policing and making this, for your citizens, safer.
Yeah.
Right? Where, okay, fine, implement curfews like most people are doing now.
Right.
Because we know that that's a lot of the problems is the unruly youth. But there's ways to curb that. You know what I mean? And like you said, like you and I were talking, Gloucester down here have, and I know Wildwood just did. Well, Wildwood had that, but Gloucester just have a thing where they're saying, hey, if you're a young person and you're under 18 and you're out, you get caught committing any kind of crime or just whatever it is, your parents can be, you know, your guardian.
They
or
can be
whoever.
charged.
Right.
With negligence, with child abandonment.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these parents are just dropping their kids off in these locations and
Right.
letting them do whatever they want to get them out of their hair. And their kids at that age are going to get into stuff, especially when they're in large crowds.
Right.
You know.
Which is what's happening in the cities.
And in the cities, it's 10 times worse because they got access to guns. And it's funny because these are the places that have the strictest gun laws in the entire country.
Yeah.
But they got so many guns. These
Right.
young dudes get guns all the time.
That's true.
So yeah. Trump says they're going in. They're gonna go into Chicago. I want to see if they can clean this up. This is gonna be wild.
And he flips the voting. I think he probably will.
Well, did you see how Illinois is gerrymandered? Again, like you see how they did Texas, where I think Jasmine Crockett and all of them, you know, they were putting up this big fuss about how they were going to change the districting. Have you ever seen Illinois districting?
No.
Bro, it's one of the wildest things. Hold on, let me see.
I know it's been blue for a long time. So.
Yeah, but that's because Democrats have been doing this gerrymandering thing forever, and now that the Republicans are trying to do it, you know, it's the end of the freaking world. But let me see if I can find Illinois' districting map.
I'm gonna read this person's comment. Chad Royer.
Okay.
Who are these people? I can't even listen to these idiots. I think the worst part is you believe you have a point, but there's not a focused understanding of reality, SMH. I just don't know how we allowed the government to destroy us. I feel bad for the world wars and after till the Korean, SMH. We deserve to fall. No one's paying attention. It's horrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we might deserve to fall, but we believe in Jesus. So everybody deserves to be condemned, but and this is why we stand in the gap. This is why we're bringing it to light, and this is why we
pray.
We pray, and we also attempt to do what we can.
But the Democrats are saying no more prayers. No more thoughts and prayers.
Well, they're doing it because the leaders are benefiting off of the dismay and the chaos. It's not because they anything other than they benefit off of this. They're being paid to, create unrest.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. There's money and there's profit in chaos. You know.
Yeah, until there's not,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the point. It's very short term.
Yeah, we talked about it before. The numbers on LA with the homelessness, because there's always been California is a tropical, climate where, of course, people who are homeless would want to be there because they don't have to worry about the winter. Especially.
Well, it depends where you are.
Yeah, it depends on where you are. But LA, downtown, that Southern California, Oakland, whatever it is. But I think it was Joe Rogan that put out the numbers, and he said that they're like $4 billion into it. And when they did the research on the salaries of the people that were put in charge of these programs, we're talking 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 salaries. Who is going to want to fix this problem if they're making that much money, right? So the incentive for them is to keep it going,
right?
And when you look at all of these programs, they're asking for more money and more money. And how do we know that they're not doing anything or it's just being wasted? When Xi Jinping was coming to California, that city was cleaned up super fast.
Yeah, in one day.
These people were moved out of the way and made that city pretty. It was possible. And the governor said flat out, when you have a visitor come in, you make your house clean.
Yeah.
So you have the ability to do it,
right?
But you just don't want to do it because it's not beneficial. These programs need to stay in place so you can make money.
Right. They're huge money makers. Okay, pull this up, Mom. This is Illinois' districting map for the way they've gerrymandered. Now look at these districts and how they're mapped out. Does this make any sense to you?
No, I don't. I'm the only one what I'm looking at. I know
every color is a district.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Look how why do they look like slime blobs everywhere? Like look at this yellow district right here. Can you see that one?
Right.
Why does it connect to St. Louis?
Because that's part of it. No, that's not. That's not. That's outside of it.
Missouri.
It looks like.
Yeah.
That's Missouri.
But look at that whole belt right there in the yellow. Like, how is that a district? But this is the way they design it so that every district can go blue. So what they do is they find the red regions and then they map out the district so that it includes a big blue city, so that when it comes time to tally the votes, they end up getting more congressional seats that are Democrat,
right,
or the senators or everything. So they district it in a way where they get more Democratic seats representation in that state, right?
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. But they do it that way, and they've been doing that for decades. The gerrymandering thing, and they do it so that you can get, like, I don't even know what is the party.
So they've been doing it like that, but when they try to do the whole Texas thing,
they went crazy. They went crazy because
he's a fascist.
They're doing what the Democrats have been doing forever. So check this out. Federal representation in the 118th Congress, 14 seats are held by Democrats and 3 are held by Republicans. Because that's how you can get more. This is what they do to get more seats for voting in Congress. They set up the state so that the districts will get them more seats. And they're supposed to be able. The reason why they're mad at Texas is because they're supposed to be able to. And this is another reason why they were flooding these cities, these places with illegals, because they're using the census to determine how many representatives they get. Like California, their number of representatives is crazy. But you see, Illinois, it's not a huge state, but it's got 17 seats in Congress. So what they're doing is they flooded in, and then 2020 was the census. Trump was trying to push so that you couldn't count illegals on the census, but the the liberal judges shot that down.
Yep.
So you could count illegal immigrants on the census, which then increases your number of congressional seats.
That's why you open the borders.
Exactly.
And you open the floodgates and, flood it with a whole bunch of...
So they play these political games because then when it comes to voting on bills, when it comes to, trying to get anything passed through Congress, if you have more seats, you control.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's pretty much a guarantee.
Yeah. So they've been playing that game for the longest, but what Trump did was he made Texas do their districting mid-decade, because you're supposed to do a census every decade. So like every, 2010, 2020, 2030 is supposed to be the next one. But they're doing one in 2025. That's what's flipping everybody out. But there's no law saying you have to do it on the decade. You know what I mean?
Makes more sense.
Yeah. And he wants to get a real tally because he's trying to do it without including the illegal immigrants, especially after all these people are being deported. So now he's trying to get a real tally of who's actually in these states, because they think that a lot of these numbers are inflated.
Yeah, I believe it.
A lot of these population numbers, because if you inflate your numbers, you get more electoral college votes, and you get more seats in Congress. So there's an incentive there to flood the state and then inflate these numbers.
Right.
If you have people going around doing a census check and they know that there's a bunch of illegals in a house and they say, oh, there's a family of 4 living there. Well, let's just say it's a family of 12. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you can inflate the numbers.
Yeah.
So that's why they're flipping out over all of this. But anyway, so we'll see what happens when Trump goes in. I'm really interested to see if he can clean up Chicago the way he did D.C.
I mean, I feel like D.C. is a little different, because he's right there, but Chicago is far away. And
if he send them feds in, the way he did, like, did you see how they were approaching everybody on the streets? They put in curfews. Nobody was allowed to be loitering.
Right.
They were checking up on everybody. No smoking outside. No smoking weed outside. If they go into these hoods in Chicago and really crack down and make it hot, make all this gang activity, they're scared to come out. Like, they could, I don't know.
That's what Trinidad is doing, actually. Trinidad has a curfew.
Yeah.
But my cousin, I was talking to my cousin about it, and he said, no, it's not. It's a state of emergency. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to hunt down the criminals. Mm-hmm. So they tell people get off the street, because
if you're on the streets, it shows us who's who. Yeah,
and we're going after them aggressively.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it makes sense.
All right, let's get into our childhood a little bit. So, you guys. Did you guys grow up watching NeverEnding Story?
Yeah, with Atreyu?
Yeah, with Atreyu. Yeah. I mean, classic 80s fantasy movie. It came from a book, right? Mm-hmm. But when we were kids, all we knew was the movie. Falcor, him teaching his bullies a lesson, and they get thrown in the dumpster. You remember that whole thing?
I probably didn't watch it as much as you guys.
Man, we saw it all the time. Our babysitter, my mom sent us to a babysitter that's idea of babysitting was sit everybody in front of the TV and make them watch movies. And that's what we did all day. But we watched NeverEnding Story probably 50 times.
Jeez.
And it was just one of those classic 80s movies, the music, the way that was. Yeah. There's a cult following to that movie too, because I've watched YouTube breakdowns of the story, for years now, and people have dedicated their lives to this movie and breaking down what it means and everything. But Jake came across this YouTube channel, who is a guy who is he's like a New Age mystic, occultist now, but he comes from a Christian home, and his whole channel is based around basically trying to disprove Christianity and get people to awaken themselves, right? So he did this whole breakdown of NeverEnding Story and showing how the actual message of the movie, with a lot of evidence, and even from where the author wrote the book. And this is one of the things before we get into it, I always heard when I would watch like the breakdowns and everything that the author hated the movie. The guy who wrote the actual book, he hated the movie to the point where he sued them.
I heard a lot of people.
Yeah, he sued because they changed a lot of the narrative from what the book was, because the book actually is very much based on occult stuff.
Okay.
So we're gonna go into a little bit of this breakdown and run through this a little bit. Can you pull this up, Mom? Take a look at this guy.
Oh, Lord.
Take a look at this. He looks like a character.
Everything I imagine he would be.
He looks like...
When I was editing this, my Jakey was like, why is he dressed like that?
Yeah. Look at what look at his shirts. He looks like he would be a character in NeverEnding Story. Okay.
Wizard. If I told you this film was actually a coded initiation through Hermetic magic, spiritual warfare, and literal Crowleyan occultism, and it all starts with a symbol you probably just thought was just a cool necklace. Remember the magical amulet called Orin that Atreyu wears? 2 snakes, one light, one dark, intertwined in an endless loop. As a kid, you probably just thought, oh, cool necklace, but it's way more than that because that symbol is a double Ouroboros. The Ouroboros is one of the oldest mystical symbols in existence. It represents eternity, cyclical rebirth, and the fusion of opposites.
Ouroboros is something that we've spoken on the podcast about before and what it symbolizes.
It's everything and nothing, birth and death, destruction and creation, all wrapped into one. It's been used by alchemists, hermeticists, Gnostics, you name it, as the symbol of ultimate transformation. Now in the NeverEnding Story, they don't just use one Ouroboros, they use 2 interlocking snakes, one dark, one light, reflecting each other, duality mirroring unity. Coincidence? Hell no. See, the NeverEnding Story is based on a German book, and Michael Ende, the author, was playing with some very serious esoteric fire. But it gets better. I bet you didn't know that there was a secret on the back of the Orin. Now you wouldn't know this unless you read the book, but if you flip Orin over, you find something written on the back. The English translation of the book says, do what you wish. Now, the director of the film, Wolfgang Peterson, he wanted to soften it even more and tried to make it say, do what you dream. But here's where it gets mind-blowing. That inscription was originally written in German, and it doesn't say, do what you wish. It says, tu was du willst, which translates more accurately to, do what thou wilt. Wait, hold on. Now, where have we heard that before? Oh, right, that's the central law of an actual occult religion. Enter Aleister Crowley, the man dubbed the wickedest man in the world, founder of a religion called Thelema, and proud member of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the secret society that birthed half of Western occult tradition.
Little Edward grew up in basically a cult. His parents weren't just Christians. Technically, they probably.
This is talking about Aleister Crowley.
Right.
How he grew up.
The dude from Flagrant. Yeah, he has his own podcast. It's actually pretty good. It's called Camp Gagnon, and he does like breakdowns of. He did this whole episode on Aleister Crowley, which is why we're bringing it in, because he talks about his upbringing.
Weren't just Christians. Technically, they probably identify as Christians, but they were members of the Plymouth Brethren. Think fire and brimstone. You're going to go to hell forever and burn for eternity. Cranked up to 11.
So Crowley is from one of those super religious cults, you know, kind of like your sister always says that's what you guys grew up in. She always tries to make it seem like this is what y'all were in.
Because they told them not to wear pants.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, Lord. Not that.
No dancing, no movies, no theater, no plays, no novels, no fun, basically. His father, old Edward Sr., was a traveling preacher who spent his days warning people about damnation. The family, they basically just like lived and breathed this apocalyptic Christianity, the kind where you're constantly waiting for the world to end at any given moment and kind of secretly hoping that it happens soon. But here's the thing about strict religious households is that they make sluts, right? I mean, like everyone that I know that's like just a sexual deviant group in a very repressive religious home, the tighter the leash, the harder they pull, as they say. So young Edward, he started to rebel. And when I mean rebel, I mean like literally the craziest rebellion you can imagine. His father died when he was 11, which only made things worse for young, Aleister Crowley. And by age 14, he was deliberately breaking every religious rule that he could think of. His mother, Emily, would find him experimenting with what he called impure thoughts and generally acted like, the opposite of everything that she had tried to teach him. He'd masturbate while thinking about religious images, curse during prayers, and do basically anything to horrify his, hyper-religious mother. When she called him the beast, he didn't cry or apologize or do anything. He almost embraced it and wore it like this badge of honor. His mother doubled down on the religious intensity, convinced that Satan was literally like possessing her kid. And the more she pushed religion.
I mean, she's not wrong. Judging by like what he was doing,
the harder he pushed back. So by the time he reached his late teens, Edward had decided that Christianity wasn't just wrong, but it was actively harmful. He started calling his mother a brainless bigot to her face and announced that he was changing his name.
Don't we hear that language a lot when they refer to Christians now?
From now on, he would be Aleister.
But again, like, she was in a cult.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Right, exactly. But he just considered all Christianity to be
But
that.
I think this is like kind of what I was talking about earlier. Like, this is the theme of like, you go from one extreme to the next.
Yes.
Type thing.
Right. Yeah. So little Edward became Aleister Crowley.
Crowley, spelled with a theatrical EI because it looked more mysterious and Celtic. It was his first real act of self-creation, right? Turning himself into someone completely different from the brethren boy that his parents tried to raise him to be. So by 1898, Crowley had left Cambridge without a degree, but with something a little more valuable: a mission, a clear sense of purpose. He saw religion as fake, morality as a cage, and normal life as dull. But what he really wanted was this truth, the spiritual truth, the kind that he thought, Christianity had buried under guilt and rules. And that's when he discovered the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. But if you thought this was just some regular old cult, you'd be wrong. The Golden Dawn taught a complex system of correspondences between colors, numbers, Hebrew letters, astrological symbols, magical operate, like all sorts of crazy stuff. And the students progressed through grades, learning increasingly advanced techniques for what they called spiritual development. Crowley mastered the material pretty quickly, but he also started pushing boundaries, once again, that made other members uncomfortable. The problem was that Crowley treated magic like an extreme sport, where other Golden Dawn members approached rituals with respect and reverence. Crowley just went full throttle, going crazy and experimenting with drugs during the ceremonies, incorporating sexual elements that horrified the other magicians and all sorts of stuff. And the breaking point came in the 1900s, specifically 1900. Crowley had advanced quickly through the Golden Dawn's grading system, but when he tried to initiate himself into the highest level without proper authorization, the Order's leaders had had enough. And they kicked him out for being too chaotic, too experimental, and frankly, just too weird for the group of, these proper Victorian occultists. But being kicked from the Golden Dawn didn't slow him down. Now he was free to develop his own approach to magic without really anyone telling him what to do. He started traveling and mixing Eastern philosophies with Western occultism and combinations that no one had ever tried. He studied yoga in India and practiced Buddhism and learned about Taoism and Taoist alchemy in China. But he wasn't trying to find himself. Crowley was learning techniques building towards something bigger. He also started to experiment seriously with drugs as a spiritual tool. So at the time, opium, hash, cocaine, mescaline, all these substances were somewhat prevalent. I mean, I wouldn't say widespread, but you could find them. And it could alter your consciousness in a pretty significant way. And Crowley tried it in combination with magical rituals. He kept detailed reports of these experiments, treating his own mind as a lab for exploring these altered states of consciousness, decades before psychedelic research actually became respectable. And all of this led to the spring of 1904, when Crowley was in Cairo with his wife, Rose. They were honeymooning, but Crowley, just being Crowley, he also arranged to perform magical rituals in the king's chamber of the Great Pyramid. At the time, it was much easier to get access to, these giant artifacts. So Rose, who normally showed, little interest in her husband's little, occult hobby, started acting strangely. She began talking about Horus, the ancient Egyptian god, insisting that he was trying to communicate something important. And Crowley was skeptical at first, right? Rose didn't know anything about Egyptian mythology, but when she led him to a Cairo museum and pointed to a specific stela numbered 666, which, Crowley almost took as a cosmic joke about his, little nickname, that is when he started to pay attention. Rose told him that Horus wanted him to prepare for a revelation and that he should sit in his hotel room at noon for 3 consecutive days to receive a message. And what happened next changed everything. April 8th, 9th, and 10th in 1904, Crowley sat in his Cairo hotel room and claimed to receive a dictation from a preternatural intelligence calling itself AWAS. This wasn't a gentle spiritual whisper either. According to Crowley, AWAS spoke in a clear, authoritative voice that seemed to come from just over his left shoulder. The entity dictated exactly 220 verses over 3 days, creating the text that Crowley would call the Book of Law. The book claimed a new spiritual age had begun, the Eon of Horus. It would replace Christianity's focus on guilt and self-denial with a new idea, with the central tenet being, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Not do whatever you want in a hedonistic sense, but discover your true will and follow it regardless of people, whatever people say. The book proclaimed that every person was like a star, a unique cosmic entity with its own perfect orbit that shouldn't be deflected by others, moral systems. And Crowley spent the rest of his life trying to understand what his spiritual message really meant. That's when he created a new belief system called Thelema. A Greek word means will. And it was basically a complete religion and philosophy built around the Book of Law. Unlike Christianity, which teaches people to deny themselves and serve God, Thelema flipped the idea. It told people to figure out who they truly are and then fully live that truth. Instead of treating the body as something sinful, Thelema saw physical life as something holy. And rather than following rules from the outside sources like, churches or leaders or pastors or gurus, Thelemites were expected to become their own source of truth and guidance.
All right, you ready for things to get absolutely crazy?
All right, so what he doesn't go into, because I watched that whole episode of Aleister Crowley, he doesn't go into the actual teachings in Thelema and the Book of Law, and when he breaks down these ritualistic magic, what to do, and how he actually talks about sodomizing young boys and things like that, and in his belief system.
Yeah, child sacrifice,
all this
boys.
crazy sexual ritual.
But yeah, and then he does later say that he didn't really mean that. He was trying to, it was code for sexual acts, but
how do you?
But he says it in the book.
Yeah,
it literally says
right.
something about a young boy is the best sacrifice or something like that. So yeah, he goes into some crazy stuff.
Yeah, Aleister Crowley was definitely into some dark stuff. And when you look at what he said, he was ushering in a new age, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, it goes into all that.
But what I'm saying is, like, when you think about all the people that idolized him and that propped him up, they were a part of ushering in that age. And you see all those people that we were just making fun of, protesting.
Yes.
They come from
that age.
That age.
Yep.
They come from that ideology grabbing hold of the youth.
Do what thou wilt.
Do what
Even
thou
if
wilt.
it's on a lower level of just do what you want, which wasn't what he actually meant.
And you know what I was thinking too when I was thinking on this earlier, and I'm thinking do what thou wilt and how that took over that decade and that generation, mom's generation, like their mentality and what that ushered in ideologically to the masses. And then think about like what we've been talking about with hip hop culture and how hip hop has taken this dark, really, really dark turn and how it's become what it's become. And who ushered in that mentality through hip hop? Jay-Z, right.
Yeah, he used to wear his shirts and talk about them all the time.
Jay-Z definitely wore the Do What Thou Will shirt. There's a image of that people always use to claim Illuminati and all this stuff. But he was definitely dabbling in the occult when you see him with Marina Abramovich and a lot of the stuff that he was into right around the time when he met Beyonce too. And so think about that, because that ideology really hadn't crept into black culture as much. You know what I mean? But now you see through hip hop it becoming more of a thing, but it's even more chaotic.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you saw a video of this guy, rapper. He recently became a Christian, and he was talking about, I forget his name, but he was talking about an experience he had.
No.
Like on a mountain in California where...
Oh, yeah. I did see
like
that.
Saying, like,
who was that?
You just gotta do some... He said you just gotta do some gay-ish.
Yeah.
And then they'll let you in.
He was talking about a photo shoot that he was doing.
Right.
And how he was in the Uber or he was in
he was in a car.
A car with somebody, some executive or something.
And then he got out the car because the guy like shape shifted in front of him.
Yeah.
Like just, and he's just a rapper.
Right.
I think he's from Atlanta.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Shape shift.
And they like offered him to, if you want to get in these doors, you got to do these things.
Right.
And those are the initiations. And a lot of this stuff came from Crowley.
Yeah.
And it goes into it. Like, not the Golden Dawn, but it's the next one, the OTO that he followed. Like, he was doing stuff that he got on their radar because they're like, how do you know this stuff?
Yeah.
So
they made him an honorary member.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Made him head of the London. They're from Germany. It's funny. They're all from Germany. Like the Golden Dawn, the Illuminati was started in Germany.
The Bavarian Club is from Germany too. Yeah.
All these things started in Germany, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. There's a lot of weird stuff going on there at the time. All right, let's keep going on this.
All right, you ready for things to get absolutely crazy here? Because Crowley claimed he channeled a non-human intelligence named Ivas, who dictated to him the Book of the Law, which is the sacred scripture of Thelema. In fact, this book is so fiery, it tells the reader to destroy it after reading. Obviously, I didn't follow the rules. And guess what the book says? Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Yeah, that line. The exact line is engraved into the soul of Thelema, the occult religion birthed by Aleister Crowley, and now it's on the back of the Oran in a children's book. Coincidence? Hell no. Now see, modern Satanists, edgy teenagers, and half of Tumblr often twist do what thou wilt into meaning do whatever you want, follow your pleasure, do what feels good, the occult version of YOLO. So is the NeverEnding Story telling kids to become hedonistic Satanists? Definitely not. See, Crowley's actual teaching is that do what thou wilt isn't about indulgence, it's about discovering your true will, your divine purpose, your soul's literal reason for existing. Not do whatever you want, but what your essence came here to do. And what does Michael Enda say about all this? He literally confirms it directly. Here's a quote from Enda himself. Do what you dream. This inscription is really the opposite of what the message of my book book means. The sentence, "Tu vas du willst," originally came from English, namely by the writer Aleister Crowley. And there it says, "Do what thou wilt." All right, that's not speculation. That's the author saying it came from Crowley. And just in case you thought maybe he was unfamiliar with the source, no, Ende was into mysticism and reportedly even owned thelemic material, including Crowley's works. This was very much deliberate.
So by 1905, Crowley had developed a theory that would have made his...
So I'm going back to this because now you're going to see what he was into. And so if this guy, the guy who
the
wrote
author
the
of
book,
Never-Ending Story,
like you got to understand what it means. Because when they're saying, it doesn't mean do what you want. It means
find out who you really are
inside of you. How do you find that out?
Right.
Well, this is where they're going to go into that.
Right.
Brethren, mother die of shock, probably. He believed that sexual climax was the most powerful magical force available to human beings. From his
and with children.
His perspective, at the moment of orgasm, you are completely present. Your ego dissolves, and you experience something that feels transcendent.
Well,
for someone,
he wrote a book and he said that.
Yeah, Aleister Crowley. Yeah.
And the book was published.
Yeah, dude.
There's nothing that. There's no evidence that he did anything with children.
Yeah.
So just a disclaimer with that, but yeah, he wrote that.
He wrote it in the book.
Yeah.
Feels transcendent.
Who published that?
For someone convinced that consciousness could be expanded through ritual, this seemed like the obvious place to start experimenting. But this wasn't just about having like a good time and calling it spiritual. Crowley approached sex magic with the same systematic intensity he brought to everything else. He started to, incorporate bodily fluids like, semen and vaginal secretions and blood all into his magical rituals, believing that these contained concentrated life force that could power these supernatural operations.
Don't like the Tibetan Buddhists do stuff like that as well? When they do the samandalas and they do those rituals where they bury things in the ground, they do the same stuff. Yeah.
And also a lot of this stuff, just to make the connection, a lot of this stuff comes from the temple worship that happened before Christ. Like a lot of this stuff that happened in Rome, ancient Rome, and before that,
which came from Egypt. Why do you think he wanted to go to Egypt to do these rituals?
So these, and we talked about sex prostitutes on here, temple prostitutes, and so this is like he's bringing something back. Like, and he even says it like
he's resurrecting something.
He said Christianity tried to hide this or cover it up, but no, Christianity actually dealt with this in just being what it was, right? And the disciples who, like, all these practices were done away with because people held on to Christ, right? And then that stuff started to lose its power, but he's trying to bring that stuff back. And it's only because when believers, Christians, they're not led by the Holy Spirit, and they think that all you got to do is read the Bible and and you got all these dead churches out there. Well, then something is going to go into what's dead. It's not going to just stay that way. When you are not occupying, something else is going to
come in. Yeah.
So this is what churches become dead because you become very legalistic, because you're trying to prove yourself, because you're not a son anymore. You're an orphan because you lack the Spirit of God. So now, if you lack the Spirit of God, well, then there's going to be another spirit that's going to try to come in when that spirit is no longer there. Because you can't have a Holy Spirit and an unclean spirit in the same place. You can't have the Holy Spirit and an unclean spirit in the same place.
And he would perform these elaborate ceremonies where sexual acts became offerings to these Egyptian gods, with every climax, carefully directed towards these magical goals. And his lovers weren't just partners. They became what he called scarlet women, named after the whore of Babylon from Revelation. In Crowley's theology, these women embodied divine chaos and creative destruction. They were goddesses incarnate. Having sex with them was literally communing with the sacred feminine. Rose, his wife, the first scarlet woman, but Crowley being Crowley, of course, monogamy wasn't going to contain his spiritual ambitions for a long time. Now remember, the sex wasn't separate from the magic. It was the magic. Crowley would design these elaborate ceremonies where, these sexual positions corresponded with different planets and their influence, and the timing of climax aligned with the astrological events, and every fluid was collected and used in these follow-up rituals. It was this whole thing, right? So by 1912, Crowley's experiments caught the attention of Theodor Roos, the head of the German occult organization called the Ordo Templi Orientis, also known as OTO. Roos had heard rumors about Crowley's sex magic techniques and was convinced that he had independently rediscovered ancient secrets that the OTO claimed to preserve. He initiated Crowley into the order and eventually made him the head of the British branch. And this was perfect for Crowley, a group he could take over and mold to fit his own ideas. The OTO had started out kind of like a almost like a mystical or like a more mystical version of Freemasonry, full of these rituals and ranks you had to move through. But once Crowley was in charge, he pushed it way further. He rewrote the rituals to include real sex acts, treating them as these tools for magic. What used to be symbolic ceremonies became actual physical rituals meant to create real power.
In the book, there's a lion called Grograman, a symbol of higher wisdom, and he literally gets pissed at Bastion for thinking it means do what you want. And Michael Ende lays it all out crystal clear. The do what you dream is the wrong interpretation. It is precisely this error Bastion is subject to and why he cannot find his way back from Fantastica. He also thinks, at first, that it's about doing what he wishes, longs for, wants to do. The lion Grograman gets angry when Bastion tells him this interpretation. To find one's true will does not at all mean doing what one wants. All right, whoa, hold on right there, because he just dropped another occult theme central to Thelema. Find one's true will? Well, what's the true will? Michael Ende writes that it's your own deepest secret and you yourself don't know it. See, one of the core purposes of Thelema is to discover your true will. Aleister Crowley wrote, a man who is doing his true will has the inertia of the universe to assist him.
And at the top of Crowley's version.
So he said it's your own deepest secret.
Mm-hmm.
And then this next part is kind of going to go into like what that actually means. How do you find your will?
Right.
Right.
Of the OTO, things got even more intense. He introduced what he called the supreme secret, a specific sexual technique that, according to him, could create powerful magical energy and lead to these even greater supernatural results. And this wasn't just talk. He gave detailed instructions on how to use, masturbation, oral sex, intercourse, and all, different forms of sexual activity as actual prayer or like spiritual practice. And it wasn't optional. Members were expected to try these methods and report back what happened. Crowley believed that he was bringing back something ancient that Christianity tried to get rid of. And he thought the early Christians had purposely buried these ideas of sex magic, which, led to centuries of shame and repression around it. In his view, sex wasn't sinful, it was spiritual. His OTO rituals were meant to fix the divide between body and soul, and by, making people think that the bedroom was almost like a temple, and that, every climax was a connection with the divine.
And want to know something even more shocking? Michael Ende hated the movie. He was so angry about the changes to his story, including the way this core teaching was flattened or misunderstood, that he actually sued the producers and tried to shut down the film's release. He even demanded that his name be removed from the opening credits. But the movie left just enough of his original message in place that the occult initiation is still visible if you know what to look for. But if you thought that was crazy, buckle up. See, at the end of the NeverEnding Story, there's this very climactic moment where lightning is crashing, the world's falling apart, Fantasia's literally dying, and Bastion is told the only way to save it is to give the Empress a new name.
Call my name.
Now, doesn't that seem kind of strange? Well, what does he do? He runs to the window and screams something into the storm. And
never knew.
I never
knew what that was saying.
You remember that scene?
Yes.
You could never understood what he said, right?
What did
No.
he say?
He said Moonchild.
Because I couldn't even understand.
And as a kid, I never knew what he said. It wasn't until, again, when YouTube came about and I was looking at breakdowns of the movie and they talk, but it's in the book. I never read the book.
I was always confused about Atreyu because he had such a girly
He
voice.
always, and he was very ambiguous.
Yeah, that was another weird thing to
Yeah.
me. That always seemed weird as a kid.
Yeah, and then when I found out it was Moonchild, I'm like, why would that be the name that he picked? And that
she
was his
was
mom's
weird.
name, because he gave her the name of his mother.
Yeah.
Who had died in the beginning. When in the beginning of the film, his mom was dead, which is why he had like this weird relationship with his dad, which is why he escaped to read these books instead of going to school. No one even talk about why this little boy is never in school, and like nobody said nothing. Like he literally spent the entire night reading this book.
Yeah.
Nobody went looking for him. The police wasn't called.
But wasn't she weird looking to you? Like
she was always creepy to me.
She was always creepy.
The princess?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I always felt like she was creepy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that little, that was her first acting job, that little girl.
Really?
Yeah, she never acted before.
Wow. I mean,
yeah.
Every kid watching went, wait, what did he just say? Because the audio is very garbled, it's unclear. But what he actually said is in the script and in the book. He shouts, Moonchild. I'm sorry, what? Why on earth would a grieving little boy name the savior of a collapsing fantasy realm Moonchild? Well, here's the shocker. Because Moonchild is the name of a 1923 occult novel written by, you guessed it, Aleister Crowley. And in Crowley's story, a Moonchild is a magical being prophesied to be born from a spiritual war, a literal divine avatar meant to usher in a new eon, which is a new phase of reality. Moonchild isn't just the title of Crowley's book, it's also the centerpiece of one of the most insane real-life occult rituals ever recorded, the Babylon Working.
So, in the story of NeverEnding Story, remember, like, the Nothing was coming and destroying Fantasia. And Sebastian's reading this book, and she says the only one that can save it is talking to him, like breaking that fourth wall and showing him that he's actually a part of the story. And she says, "Say my name. You have to say my name." And then he says the name Moonchild.
He's like, "Is it really me?
Yeah, yeah.
Am I the one?" Like,
Right.
this is the
right.
He's talking to himself.
Yeah. And then he says Moonchild, but then there's only thing left is this one grain of sand. And she tells him that he can rebuild Fantasia, this new reality, from his wishes or from his will, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's very much what this dude is breaking down. It's real, this esoteric like ideology that was kind of threaded through this movie that we were taking in the 80s as kids and didn't realize. But yeah, let's keep
All right, let me explain this madness. In 1946, in the goddamn Mojave Desert, a rocket scientist named Jack Parsons.
We've talked about this on here, how he was an Aleister Crowley follower.
He discovered Crowley's work in the 1930s and became convinced that magical rituals could literally contact alien intelligence. And Parsons wasn't just dabbling in the cult. He was a serious scientist. Like, that was his job. He helped pioneer rocket propulsions at Caltech, co-founded the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and developed solid fuel tech that NASA still relies on today.
So he teamed up with L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology, and
How
said,
is
you know what would be
that
fun? A full-blown
so
magic
cool?
ritual to summon the goddess Babylon and manifest a moon child into the world. I mean, seriously, think about this. The guy who helped invent rocket fuel, who literally helped us get to the moon, tried to conjure a divine feminine messiah using thelemic rituals with the man who would later start the world's most litigious UFO-themed religion. This actually happened, like historically documented.
And there was something even stranger. Some theorists believe that the rituals Parsons and Hubbard performed didn't just mess with their personal lives. They maybe, or literally, opened a doorway, a portal, they claim, that let extraterrestrial entities start interacting with humans more often. Whether that's wild speculation or not, one thing is clear, that the late 1940s was the start of modern UFO culture. And strangely enough, many of those early alien encounter stories sound a lot like the visions and experiences Crowley had been writing about for years, beings of light and symbols and messages from beyond.
Didn't he was said to have been contacted or like brought through a portal with some being?
Well, yeah.
Lamb.
Both the first one, Iowa, but then Lamb was later on.
Lamb was the one that looked
I
like
didn't put
a
that in
gray alien.
Yeah, but he looked like a
and it was the first depiction of that type of phenotype.
Yeah.
That we've ever seen was Aleister Crowley's, which ended up becoming like the gray alien.
Yeah, and I think that's why I left this in there, because the connection to like look at what's coming up now. Look at how like they're even
aliens
stuff
now
about
again.
alien.
Yeah.
There's like an alien ship
supposed to be approaching.
Like they're setting things up
right
in a way that a lot of people aren't going to be able to even understand because it's outside of your paradigm
right
in terms of even Christians, like in terms of how you view things. A lot of people don't understand the sons of God. A lot of people don't even know Deuteronomy 32.
Yeah.
Like these people don't know this stuff because especially in a Western civilization, Christian America, it's so like people don't talk about don't talk about the spiritual realm, right? So a lot of this stuff, now think about it, if even this, like if we can't go through this and deal with it, because I know a lot of it is like nasty and you're hearing this crazy stuff.
It sounds gross.
But you got to be able to deal with it so that you can know what you're up against, right? So that you can have an understanding. I think a lot of people just be like, I don't even want to.
Yeah.
But you become victims if you don't know. Like we gotta be able to be like, okay, I get it, but God is greater.
Right?
How is God greater?
And we also have to be aware of like the things that we led into our hearts as kids that we were indoctrinated by, like, and then so that way you can undo those entanglements. To use a term from Jada Pinkett Smith.
Because these things didn't just happen; they were. Like this happened in the fort, like this whole Jack Parsons.
Right.
Well, Aleister Crowley started this stuff before the 1900s into the 1900s.
Which influenced them, which then influenced the 60s, which then influenced, hip hop, which then influences now.
And it didn't just it influenced the stuff he did influenced mind control stuff.
Like MK Ultra.
Psychology. Like a lot of this stuff, it influenced the whole culture. Yeah. So that's why it's so important that we pay attention to this stuff.
But there's another secret here, because in Thelema, Crowley wrote that we were entering a new phase of existence called the Aeon of Horus, aka the age of the crowned and conquering child, a divine archetype of the sovereign self, unchained from external authority, not bound by dogma or old religion. The child who rules by self-determination. Crowley wrote, for the whole universe and all that in it is, what is it but the infinite playground of the crowned and conquering child, of the insatiable, the innocent, the ever-rejoicing heir of space and eternity. So think about this. Is it a coincidence that the savior of Fantasia is literally called the childlike empress, whose name ushers in a new phase of existence in Fantasia, which is the infinite playground of human imagination? Because the core message of the NeverEnding Story is this: imagination creates reality, period. This isn't just about reading books or believing in yourself. This is a coded crash course in occult manifestation magic. And what is magic? Aleister Crowley defined it like this: magic is the science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with will. And that's exactly what happens in the movie. Fantasia is literally powered by human dreams. It exists because people imagine, and the terrifying force that's consuming it, it's called the nothing. As one character says, people have begun to lose their hopes and forget their dreams, so the nothing grows stronger. The nothing is what happens when the human spirit collapses, when imagination dies, when the creative spark is totally snuffed out, and here's where it gets dangerously powerful, because the only person who can stop the nothing is a child in the real world.
You simply can't imagine that one little boy could be that important.
See, at the end of the film, after everything's been destroyed, the Empress, now reborn as Moonchild, yeah, we're still not over that one, she gives Bastian a single grain of sand, the last fragment of the universe, and she tells him, Fantasia can rise anew from your dreams and wishes, Bastian.
Fantasia can arise in you from your dreams and wishes, Bastian.
She says he can have as many wishes as he wants, and that the more wishes you make, the more magnificent Fantasia will become.
And the more wishes you make, the more magnificent Fantasia will become.
All right, think about that. This kid's will and imagination literally rebuilds the universe. That is straight up Hermetic creation magic. The NeverEnding Story echoes the principle, as above, so below, as within, so without, which means the inner world, mind and spirit, can shape the outer material world. In fact, as above, so below is embedded within the Orin itself. The light and dark serpents represent the intertwining of the human world and the world of Fantasia, or the outer and the inner. Right, it's basically telling us that we're all magicians at heart, co-creating the world with our thoughts and will. And the movie doesn't even try to hide the stakes. It straight up reveals a full-blown occult war happening right now between our power to set ourselves free versus the forces that want to control us. In one of the most terrifying exchanges, the wolf-like villain called Gamork confronts Atreyu and basically monologues about his evil plan. Gamork says, I am the servant of the power behind the nothing. In the book, it's revealed he works for mysterious beings called the manipulators. And why help the nothing? Gamork says, because people who have no hopes are easy to control, and whoever has the control has the power. Seriously, A Wolf in a So-Called Kids movie just laid out the entire blueprint for authoritarian control, fascism, and spiritual enslavement. And most of us never noticed, but as
You
adults...
hear it though?
What?
Fascism, spiritual enslavement.
The nothing? Gamork says, because people who have no hopes are easy to control, and whoever has the control has the power. Seriously, A Wolf in a So-Called Kids movie just laid out the entire blueprint for authoritarian control, fascism, and spiritual enslavement. And most of us never noticed, but as adults, that line should hit like a freight train. People who have no hopes are easy to control. This is the real occult war being revealed in plain sight, right there in a kid's film. Because on one side, you have those who want you to awaken.
What did we just see with all those people in that 20v1 with Patrick Bet-David? A bunch of people with no hope.
Yep.
That are giving themselves over to authoritarian ideas.
Yeah. Why? Because they're so focused on their flesh.
Mhm.
They're so focused.
Their will.
You think about it. Why do we become like? And just think about like people who are we're dead in what? Spirit, right?
Mhm.
So if we're dead in spirit, we're children of wrath, right? I'm saying if we're not believers. When we're believers, now we're dealing with the Holy Spirit. We have to be led by the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Right? If we are led by thinking that we can read the Bible and think that we have to read the Bible. I'm saying just read the Bible. We're still children of wrath. We're living from the Bible. So now we become, because what does the Bible do? It shows us, it gives us a mirror, right? And we realize we are not enough. We can't live up. We can't measure up, right? And without God, without the Holy Spirit, we become tormented. Because not only are we going to think it, who's giving us those thoughts?
Yeah.
So now we're going to be tormented and feel shame, right? And now how do we deal with that? We got to prove to ourselves that we're not that. And in order to do that, we got to compare ourselves to everybody else. So now we're that's how we deal with each other. And it's not just I'm just showing it to you like religiously how this can happen, but it also happens with people who are just going through life.
Yeah.
Because now we're just measuring up based off of your own laws, how you see it. You might never read the Bible, but you've been given laws, whether it's what you've gone into or how you grew up in your life, right? The culture you live in, you've been given these laws that you don't even realize you abide by. You know, you grow up in the streets, they call it the code of the streets, whatever. There's always laws that you're gonna live by. But the problem is you're always gonna measure yourself and you're gonna fall short. And now you have to prove yourself, right? And they're saying that freedom from this is through spiritual practices like Crowley. And that's the thing that this guy with the crazy hair and he's not saying the deeper thing. And that's why I went to the other guy. I don't know his name. What's his name?
Mark Gagnon.
Yeah, where he's like going into, well, how Crowley do this? Through sexual stuff.
Right. This guy didn't want to touch
He didn't want to say none of that.
Right.
But how do you find yourself? How are you coming? How are you breaking free? This child, what do they call it?
The crown child.
Crown child.
Yeah.
Like, how do you be a conquering child?
Yeah.
How do you conquer your so-called flesh? Not like the Christians.
Right.
You don't give your life to Jesus.
Right.
You have to do spiritual practices and spiritual workings to manifest yourself.
Which are literally giving yourself completely over to all of your desire.
Yeah.
Instead of conquering your flesh in the way of like, my flesh won't control me, I overcome. Yeah. It's crazy. All right, let's
For your true will to create, to imagine, to manifest dreams into reality, to become what you really are. But on the other side, you have the people who want your mind empty. They want you passive, docile, distracted, numbed by entertainment, paralyzed by fear, buried under mountains of propaganda, drowning in self-doubt, and starved of meaning. They don't want you dreaming. They want you scrolling, consuming, obeying, forgetting. They want your inner fire totally snuffed out into nothing so they can rule over the action.
At the same time, intelligence agencies were working quietly and studying his techniques too, not for spirituality, but for their own potential in psychological warfare, interrogation, and mind control. Think about the operations such as MK Ultra, which would use LSD in the attempt to mind control people to do things against their will. So once again, Crowley's legacy was slipping into science, culture, and even espionage. So Crowley dies in 47, but his name does not die with him. By the 1960s, counterculture was like rocket fuel for Crowley's posthumous, reputation. Suddenly, a generation of young people that was, rejecting the conventional religious experience started experimenting with psychedelic drugs and embracing sexual liberation. What does this sound like? Sounds a little bit like Aleister Crowley. And they basically began doing everything that Crowley had been preaching since 1904. His motto, "Do as thou wilt," became the unofficial slogan for the hippie movement in the 60s, even though most of the kids chanting it had no idea where it came from. But the real breakthrough came when rock musicians started discovering his work. These weren't casual fans. Major artists became genuinely obsessed with Crowley's magical philosophy and started incorporating it into their music and personas. I mean, Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin was probably the most serious Crowley devotee in rock history. In 1970, Page actually bought Crowley's former mansion, the Olskine House on the shores of Loch Ness in Scotland. This wasn't just, a celebrity real estate purchase. Page was convinced that the house retained magical energy from Crowley's rituals and wanted to tap into that power for his own creative work.
Wasn't Led Zeppelin like doing rituals over their records too, like their master recordings? I remember hearing something about that. So.
But the moment that truly pushed Crowley into the mainstream, of pop culture came in 1967 when the Beatles featured his face on the iconic cover of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, one of the great albums of all time. And there he is, second from the left on the very top row, surrounded by other cultural icons the band wanted to honor. Paul McCartney later explained that it chose people who had shaped their worldview, and Crowley's rebellious philosophy about breaking free from societal norms clearly struck a chord. It was a subtle nod, but one that introduced millions to the great beast without ever saying a word. Now, think for a second. The most popular band in history put the face of the wickedest man in the world on their most famous album cover. Teenagers who had never heard of occultism or Thelema were suddenly staring at Crowley's image every time they played their favorite record. David Bowie, as a matter of fact, took it farther than most. He didn't just reference Crowley, he tapped into his...
David Bowie, who also starred in The Labyrinth, which is another occult movie from that same era.
His ideas, things like transformation, identity, treating life as this type of art project where, these are fundamental ideas central to both men. With characters like Ziggy Stardust and then, Thin White Duke, Bowie constantly reinvents himself, almost like Crowley's magical personas. For Bowie, it wasn't just about image, it was using this persona as a way to explore and reshape reality. Ozzy Osbourne, like I mentioned before, he leaned into the shock value. His song, Mr. Crowley, played upon the spooky, mysterious vibe and helped cement Crowley's place in rock mythology. And even Iron Maiden gave him nods in songs about, mysticism and the occult. Punk bands, like, they enjoyed his anti-authoritarian energy. And rock artists were more into the depth of his philosophy. Crowley's influence shows up all over music, just in different ways. Sometimes as, a rebellious icon, other times as a symbol of creative freedom. But Crowley's influence was far beyond music. His ideas about consciousness were, at the same time influencing academic research in the psychology and neuroscience. Scientists studied altered states of consciousness were rediscovering techniques that Crowley had been doing since 1890. Specifically, researchers in creativity and peak performance found that his methods for achieving a magical consciousness that he writes about in many of his books was wildly similar to what academics would call in modern times the flow state. And the human potential of the 1970s and 80s, you could argue, was borrowing heavily from some of Crowley's techniques, often without acknowledgement, right? I mean, like rebirth therapy and a bunch of different New Age practices used the same psychological methods that Crowley had developed for his magical initiations. The idea that you could completely transform your personality through these intensive experiential workshops came from his magical curriculum. And the internet age has only expanded Crowley's reach. I mean, online communities focused on chaos magic and art and self-transformation ideas often treat him like, a foundational figure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's really it, because I didn't go into everything of the NeverEnding Story.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to focus on do I say what?
Yeah.
And also the Gamort character.
Yeah.
That's Gamort. Yeah.
Gamort is the wolf. Yeah.
Right. Where the nothing and them. That's more of the religious. The very legalist.
Yeah.
And if you look at that, you said it, these. It's not when people say religious. It's not. You can't just look at we think of it Christianity.
Yeah.
No, it's the people who. The people in the 70s or the 60s who were upset, and we talked about this before, a lot of people in the 60s were kind of rebelling against the 50s and or even the 40s/50s, right, where religion had kind of had a hold.
Yeah.
I would say legalism.
Yeah.
And then they become the legalists themselves, just in a totally different way.
Yeah.
Where now they're telling you this is what's right. And so it just, again, it's a pendulum that's swinging back and forth. So that's why conservatism isn't a good thing if you don't, if you conserve ideas without having the spirit behind it, you miss the point. Right? And if you're free, if you get freedom and then you forget why you're free and how you got free, you miss the point.
Yeah.
And now you want to stay free and do whatever you want, you miss the point, right? So you have this thing that goes back and forth because it's all dead. And that's kind of what they're talking about, but they think that they're going to experience this thing. You know how Aleister Crowley died?
I forget. It had something to do with a ritual, right?
He was on drugs. Dude was a drug addict. Because he was using drugs to get into these spiritual states.
Right.
So he just died miserable. He died miserable. He didn't have a great death. He didn't die. He died poor.
He didn't transcend into this magical knowledge.
No, all the stuff. Dude was broke.
Yeah.
He was relying on rich people to give him money.
But he ended up losing all of his funding because he was just so out there that people started disassociating with him.
Well, yeah, not just that. He had other issues that happened, but
yeah.
That was another thing I didn't put in there. A guy died.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Somebody died from sepsis or something during one of the rituals, during one of the sex rituals.
Yeah, from drinking blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he went through a lot in that way where he lost a lot of backing. And he just was out there, and eventually he needs the drugs to be able to get into these altered states.
Or he just needs them because now he's an addict.
Yeah, that's the other part of it.
You're right.
But when you see it leads to depravity, it leads to nothing.
Yeah.
And it's sad because I heard when he was dying, he said, "Oh my God, what have I done?"
No,
that was Anton LaVey.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a different
guy.
He
did say something.
Oh, okay.
Somebody look up. What did Aleister Crowley say on his deathbed? He did say something.
Oh, so that was Anton LaVey that said that. Oh, God. They were both evil.
He said, "I am perplexed. Satan, get out."
Yeah.
Aleister Crowley reported his reported last words on his deathbed were, "I am perplexed. Satan, get out.
So that's kind of interesting, right?
Satan, get out.
That he said that. Those were his last words.
Maybe he saw who was coming for him in the room. You know how
Yeah.
that little boy saw Jesus in that viral clip?
Yeah.
And saw his dad? Maybe
Mhm.
he was saying, wait, I'm confused. Why is Satan
Yeah.
here?
And
You
then
know?
like Anton LaVey, same thing. Like,
Yeah.
he said some out there stuff too. So you're doing all this stuff and it's for nothing.
Yeah.
It's funny. The nothing.
The nothing.
You're doing all this and it's actually it leads to nothing. And you think you're doing this working. It's so funny that they call them workings, right?
Yeah.
Babylon working,
Mhm.
like these magical workings.
Yeah.
And they just lead to
Nothing.
I just want to say that one of the most traumatizing scenes of my childhood was watching Artax die in that swamp.
And he's like,
he's trying to pull him out. Yeah.
yeah. And then wasn't that after then he meets the turtle?
Yes.
Like weird.
He was there ready to die.
Yeah. And the only reason why we know this so well is because we were forced to watch it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
I forced you?
No, you just
Oh yeah.
had us there.
Oh, Aleister Crowley? Bro.
Yeah.
Bro, a lot of people did. This is what
Yeah.
we're trying to say.
I'm
Like
saying not just the musician. I'm talking about this is from a man born in 1875.
no, they did a lot of he was with a bunch of rich people, bro. Like they loved this guy, which is very weird and very strange because a lot of the people that were like movers and shakers at the time, he was in their circles.
Yeah, like him, Helen Blavatsky, they're like the
Yeah.
pioneers of the new age.
Who's the other guy? The other guy from that time too. He used to wear like the wizard robe.
Manning.
Yeah, Manly P. Hall.
Manly
yeah.
P. Hall, yeah.
Yeah, Manly P. Hall. He's another one.
The scariest movie I ever watched was The Exorcist.
Yeah, well, that's about
That's something else.
being demon
No,
possessed.
but I'm saying that
kids,
was
you ain't
the-
watching that.
That was the scariest movie I ever watched.
Have you heard? Speaking of The Exorcist, have you guys heard of Pazuzu?
No, what's that?
Pazuzu is a little doll that's
Oh,
famous.
I've heard of
a
it.
toy?
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
a toy,
It's demonic.
but it's the demon from.
Ooh,
Pazuzu
yeah.
is the
Could you
version.
believe
Is the
that?
version of
Pazuzu?
B starts with a B, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's these weird looking.
It's this
dolls.
little doll that looks like a little monster.
Oh.
But basically, Pazuzu is the demon from
The Exorcist?
The Exorcist. It's linked to the demon.
So people are like buying this thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And kids are getting it. People are getting it. Mom just took a picture with it today.
Really?
She didn't even know. I was like, let me see here.
Oh, here you go, Mom. Pull it up. This one?
Labubu.
Labubu?
Oh, Labubu, that's what it's called.
That's what it's called. Yeah.
He said Pazuzu. I'm like,
Pazuzu is the demon.
Pazuzu is the demon that is.
Yeah,
that is
Labubu is the.
yeah, Labubu. Bro, everybody, I've been hearing about these Labubu dolls. Everybody's getting these.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They just change it to make it sound like that. But that's that demon right there.
The truth behind Pop Mart's viral demonic toy, panic, and $1 billion
But
backlash.
I mean, just look at it. Like, why would I get that for my kid?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just looking at it.
Yep.
Some little girl was at my house actually, had it.
Bro, they're going. You know why? Because TikTok.
Yeah.
TikTok.
It went viral.
It went super viral.
I told Ashley about that. I was like, look up the background to this little doll. They're trying to hide in plain sight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
These little kids make it look,
Yep.
Yeah.
little-
And see,
a little
like,
cute.
see how more like, imagine if our parents would have, like, Mom, imagine if you would have known and you were able to see, like, oh, NeverEnding Story. No, don't.
Well, I
you can't
didn't
watch
even
that.
know you were watching that over and over. I didn't know.
But I'm saying,
even
like,
if they did at the time, they didn't have the tools because
That's my point.
Like, what
That's
would
my point.
your mom would say stuff when you guys would watch certain thing? Oh, that's demonic. That's demon. That's evil. But that's as far as they could take it. They couldn't. So to us, it was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
how do you? Yeah, like to be able to deal with it.
Dolls?
yeah.
What?
This is a craze right now.
Gosh, but the price, 2,000.
Yo, remember this,
Crazy.
Jake, from the 80s? Remember this movie?
Yeah.
Critters.
Yeah.
Remember the 2 bounty hunters? That's another one we used to watch at Miss Webb's all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, we watch a lot of trash.
Yep.
We watch
Gremlins. Yeah. Yeah, these the little dolls.
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
But
wish you could find
how many
the dog.
parents say, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, there's nothing wrong with that."
I wish you could find the doll, because me and Kuka were talking about that doll that you guys were just showing. But then she was saying, oh, that's demonic. We were saying it's demonic. Then she's found another doll, and it was a cute little girl doll, but then it had testicles.
Mm.
I mean, how?
What?
Yeah, it was a cute little girl, and then you look down and it's hanging. I mean, they're doing horrible things.
So Pazuzu is the main character on The Exorcist?
It's the demon.
That's the name of the demon.
Oh, for The Exorcist?
Yeah.
Oh. That's weird. Talking about The Exorcist.
I saw something where somebody just bought the house, house where all that memorabilia, like the Annabelle doll, all that stuff is supposed to be there.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
The comedian.
Yes.
The young comedian.
Yeah. The young dude that went viral on TikTok.
He just looking weird. Changed his hair up.
Yeah, he just bought that house.
Yeah.
As like some stunt. What's his name? Let me see. Comedian. Horror house. Matt Rife.
Yeah.
I had a feeling.
Matt Rife, yeah.
What's he doing?
He just bought.
Ghost stuff. This is about as big as it gets.
Matt Rife has made an interesting new purchase. On August 1st, the stand-up comedian shares to social media that he is now one of the proud new owners of Ed and Lorraine Warren's Occult Museum, which is home to allegedly haunted items such as the Annabelle doll.
Hey guys, super random but incredible announcement. I have just bought the Ed and Lorraine Warren's Home and Occult Museum with my very good friend Elton Castay. If you guys have ever seen any of the Conjuring films, the Annabelle films, or even Amityville Horror, this is the home that inspired all of those stories. This might be the most important and prominent piece of paranormal history in the world. Ed and Lorraine Warren are who took demonology and ghost hunting and paranormal investigation and made it mainstream. Now, I know a lot of you guys don't know what any of this means whatsoever, but if you follow ghost stuff, this is about as big as it gets.
Matt then details exactly what comes with the new ownership and how he plans to open the house for other paranormal enthusiasts to visit.
Yeah, there you go. So he bought that Amityville horror house. I guess that's the house that it was based off of, and then the Conjuring, Annabelle was all based off of that. I think those are all along the same time. Like those are all from the same like universe. Those movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, people are intrigued by that stuff, man.
Yeah, and I think we're going to this place where a lot of people are want to be spiritual. So a lot of people are getting into occultism.
Right. Part of that too, I mean, for me, I feel like this. I feel like for so long we have been focusing on third world countries like Africa as being witchcraft prone, which it is, but we've never had a true analyzation of Europe in terms of like these guys, the occultists that came from there, you know, and influence far more.
Well, because the witchcraft in Africa is a lot easier to just point at because they're doing voodoo, they're cutting chickens, you know what I mean?
And it seems weird when all the dancing, but when you go back and even I was watching this thing and it was like these fairy tales, you know, all these little stories that we grew up with. Where did it come from? They were all folk tales like what we told you about Trinidad Photes. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, where did it come from? What was this about? You
The
know,
Dwayne.
Yeah, like women, witches in the woods, and
Mhm.
all these little things. Like
Sukunya.
but where did we get that from? And I look back on all these little stories, and I'm saying, like, back then, you look at all the people who wrote those things. You know, all wrote these stuff like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And all these things. Like, if you go back and you start looking at them, they were members. A lot of them, not him specifically, but a lot of them people were members of the Golden Dawn, or
Mhm.
these little weird English
Yeah.
Writers Guild,
clubs,
cultic
yeah.
kind of things.
Bro, Peter Pan. I was just watching a whole breakdown about that. Like, that is straight up from the occult. Peter Pan, that whole story. And especially when you read the actual book, not the Disney interpretation, but the actual book and how dark and demonic it is. And first of all, you know, Pan is based off of
the goat.
Pan's Labyrinth. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the reason why you don't have that so much in the West is because of the suppression through religion.
Mhm.
You know, so like it wasn't accepted. You had to do it behind.
You had to do it
you had to hide
covertly.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why these orders existed a lot of times.
They had to go underground, and
Yeah.
But they brought it through movies and books.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they slowly. That's why we're showing the NeverEnding Story thing, because it's like they slowly get you to buy into these themes and to indoctrinate your mind into accepting it into your heart, so that when you do, when you eventually rebel against Christianity, all of the ideas are already there in you.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
think about like even like the Antichrist, or you know, these things that seem so far off. Like, how do you get, like, how would you get the earth to fight against Jesus? If Jesus, maybe people don't know, but Jesus is supposed to come back. And why would people go to war against Jesus? You would have to make them believe that, first of all, he's evil because the good guys are here, and the good guys had to prove themselves that
Right.
they're the ones that you should be looking to,
right.
worshiping, trusting in,
Yeah.
right? So you have to set this all up.
Well, isn't that like when you look at Morals and Dogma? That's what Albert Pike talks about Lucifer being the actual God. And I know the Gnostics also believe that as well. That like God was actually the evil one.
Yeah.
The God of the Hebrews was the evil one who was trying to suppress knowledge from Adam and Eve, and the snake was the actual benevolent one.
Yeah. You know what's interesting?
What?
There was a small model of the throne of Satan, or the throne of Apollos, the altar of Apollos, which is in the Bible. It says the Pergamus, the throne of Satan, right? And it was in the Germany, Berlin's museum.
Okay.
Right? And I think it was Nuremberg that they had somebody actually build that. This is in the time of the SS and Nazis, right? Before the war, they built that, and I was listening to a guy talk about how that's when they built that, they did some kind of speech there, and that's where they came up with the whole thing. That's where you've heard what's his name, Hitler talk about the whole Holocaust thing and what they wanted to do with the Jews. Like, it's very interesting.
Wow.
There's more to it because I just heard it like this morning. But when I heard that, I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because when you think about like Galileo, he was in the occult.
Copernicus.
Yeah.
Isaac Newton.
All
of these guys.
What's the other guy who did the
Pythagoras? Pythagoras is another one.
Yeah, but that's way back. I'm talking about evolution guy.
Oh, Charles Darwin.
Yeah, Charles Darwin, same thing. Like these people, Francis Bacon.
Yeah, Francis Bacon is a huge one.
He's supposedly the guy who did the scientific what's it called, method.
Yeah.
So
he's also credited with creating the English language.
Yeah, that's true. So you have this if you can build a false reality, right, and just have people looking in a certain direction, and everything is evolution and it came from somewhere but not like you think, and they're setting us up for something, and a lot of this stuff, like how did the Nazis go from in debt, war, right, lost World War One, in debt, and they just come up with all these
the most
things.
technologically advanced jump in technology we've ever seen.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Where's that come from?
To the point where after the war, we took them here to develop our space program.
I mean, yeah, they started the jets.
Yeah.
Like they had jets there.
Yep.
Where'd all this stuff come from?
Well, interesting you said that. If you look at some of the hieroglyphs, there are things that look like helicopters and jets.
And airplanes,
Which says that there was a society and there was a time when these things were there. They didn't call them that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, it's eerily similar to...
I mean, now what they've discovered with that LiDAR under those pyramids and like showing that there might be even another city that they found underneath the pyramid, like... there is pointing to an ancient civilization that had some technology that we don't know about,
Yeah. Definitely, like, we think we got it all figured out.
Yep.
And we don't. And that's where they get you.
Yeah.
Because, the way that girl was on that one thing with Patrick Bet-David and she's just spewing this stuff and talking, that's what gets you. Because you think you know so much.
Yeah.
You need to humble yourself.
And from an occultic perspective, or at least from what I understand that they do, or because it took me a while to understand this too, the offspring of the fallen angels and the women, the Nephilim, they would have been disembodied spirits. They were not celestial or terrestrial. They had no place to go. So they
when they died.
Yeah. So they they were this abomination. This abomination. They were the unclean spirits that would be roaming about with no rest.
Yeah.
They seek rest. They get none. They hunger. There's no food.
Yeah.
All these things. You know what I mean? So from the Christian standpoint, a lot of the pastors don't touch the deeper,
it's too scary.
And I would say,
I think that's what it is. People are scared.
To go a little deeper with it, like I would say the Nephilim, they're the hierarchy of the hybrids, because demons aren't just like the Nephilim. They're the hierarchy of the demons. Other than the fallen angels, but I would say like you had hybrids that were mixed together, chimeras, so to speak.
Because they were crossbreeding all different kinds of things.
Yeah, like those are the things that, like when you hear people talk about seeing demons and seeing look like an animal, look like this, look like that. They look different.
Dwayne.
And
It's
in every folklore, by the way.
It is.
All over the world.
All over the world.
Because you're seeing something that should not have been here. It was not created by God.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what they are. And that's probably what these people are
in communication with.
Yes. They're communicating with ancient beings that are disembodied.
That want to be worshipped again.
Yeah.
And they know that the only way is to convince humans to basically resurrect them.
Yeah.
In a sense. Yeah.
Which is why it's like, think about like, especially with the child sacrifice thing, I've heard it so much about child sacrifice. And it represents it to them, it's the killing of Jesus, because it's like a virgin, it's a child, innocent, and you're laying all these sin on this child, aside from the adrenochrome or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's very common. They use a lot of that, and not just in occult, but like in witchcraft, I guess would be occult, but all over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, it's you see what Aleister Crowley was doing. You look at what other people do. It's to open up portals.
Yeah.
It's to open up spaces that should be closed off. It's to figure out a different
gain
way.
access.
That's John 10, right?
You're a thief and a robber. You're a thief and a robber.
If you enter any other way, enter what?
Right.
Into the spirit realm.
Spirit realm. But by Jesus, then you are a thief and a robber.
And they've said that. They've said that it's not aliens like coming from the sky. It's interdimensional beings.
Right.
That they need you to open the door for them. They just can't. They don't have access.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or you even
I think it's and both.
It could be because there's different versions of them. Because
yeah.
in Daniel it says, remember when Gabriel was talking to Daniel, he said, "I was on the way the minute you knelt down, but I was withstood for 21 days by the Prince of Persia." Now there was actually a Prince of Persia, a physical person, but there was a Prince of Persia, the entity.
He was talking about the principality that rules over that region.
Right.
Yeah.
So that right there lets us know that there's a command system, there's a ranking system, because this wasn't just no ordinary demon.
Right.
The demons ran. The demons and the Gadarenes were begging Jesus for life.
Right.
This one was so powerful that it controlled the region, but he needed to go back and get Michael to withhold him.
Yeah.
And he had to go back and do it again to get back.
Right.
So that tells there's some sort of power.
Right.
And there's a ranking system. Some are more powerful than others.
Yeah.
It even says some are cast out through prayer and fasting.
Yeah.
It takes more. This one doesn't come out like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
so it says something. There's a ranking order.
There's definitely rankings. There's definitely order in the kingdom of darkness, or else it wouldn't be a kingdom. And yeah, it's interesting. I was just looking this up today, that the word for prince, I thought it would be, but I was just making sure, is Sar. And like that's when you think of is Sarel, right? That Sar is in there. That's a prince. So because Israel can be to rule with God, right? Or to struggle with God.
Right.
Because the root of that struggle word is prince, right? So, and you look at what was happening, there was a struggle over Persia, right? So we're learning, and why was there a struggle? Because really it was Daniel was struggling. There wouldn't even have been, there would have been peace for that one prince, entity, whatever. He wouldn't have had to deal with Gabriel if it wasn't for Daniel.
Right.
Even in that state. So imagine now. Imagine how Jesus, because we're not dealing with the same Satan that reigned at that time of Daniel is not the same Satan we deal with today.
Oh, no.
Because of Jesus. Right? So, and what he did, he made an open spectacle of these powers, right? These principalities in the air. So we're coming from a whole different place. So now what is the tactic? It's to get us separated from who we really are. That's the tactic, right? To keep us feeling hopeless, right? To get us to accept more socialist programs and not trust God, right? Trust the government more than you trust God.
Yep. All right, let's wrap it up there, guys. 11:09. Thank you guys for watching, man. We appreciate everybody who's been with us this entire time. Sorry we didn't get to more comments. I know you guys are in there. Make sure you guys hit the like button on your way out before we get out of here. And again, don't forget to become a member. Go to our Patreon, sign up, support what we do here so we can continue to grow this community of the Young Lions. Don't forget we have a show coming up on November 1st at the City Winery in Philadelphia if you want to come see us live. And other than that, we appreciate everybody. See you guys next time. Peace.
Young lion, go live, yeah. Young lion, you rich, yeah. This kingdom has room, yeah. Go and fight people in.